Warning: the following audio may contain coarse language and other materials that may not be suitable for a younger audience. The opinions expressed in this audio are solely those of the speakers involved. These conversations may contain spoilers for current media such as games, comics, movies, television shows, and more. Chronic Geeks makes no claim to ownership of the various media discussed, simply the opinions expressed. Listener discretion is advised.
Don't let your kids watch it!
What's going on, geeks? What's up? This is Weigh In Wednesday. I'm your host, Elder Geek Sam. I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the show. I don't have an actual show planned, so to speak. We just coming on here tonight to kick it, have a little fun. Just chit chat as we do. What's going on, people? How y'all doing? What's been going on? So let's get all the good stuff out of the way. Rebel Moon trailer. You know, it looks very Star Wars, I have to say. It does look very Star Wars. And that is intriguing to me. That is very interesting. I am interested in everything that I'm seeing there. Surprisingly, because it's Zack Snyder and, doesn't necessarily have the best reputation when it comes to movies. People are just like, oh, want to go see that new Zack Snyder movie? He ain't that guy, But, I did like Army of the Dead. That wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed that. Sucker Punch has had some weird conversation. We won't get into that. Watchmen, I love. Army of Thieves, on my list of movies to watch. It's been out for a while. I was on Netflix. I was watching a trailer for it again the other day. And still very interested in watching that. But Rebel Moon, have to say I'm surprised. Rebel Moon looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. So that's a plus, I guess. And we may discuss it and talk about it here a little bit later. I don't know. I invited some people on. Like I said, I didn't really have any topics tonight. We're just kind of coming in. We're going to kick it. We're just sort of chit chat. If any of you out there watching have any topics you want to discuss or anything you want us to cover, throw that in the comments. Some other things going on. Ahsoka. I love this show already. It came out, hit the ground running, both lightsabers in tow, and I was explaining to somebody earlier. This is what I like about Star Wars. Like a lot of people, they talk about, there's such a huge galaxy and there's so much going on. There's so many stories to tell. We're only focusing on the Skywalkers and their family drama. And yeah, that's true. That is absolutely. But isn't that every movie in a way? Like Star Trek. If you watch Star Trek, you watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. We are following Captain Picard and crew. We're following the crew, the Enterprise. We're following them. When you watch any take any movie that exists in a real world or whatnot, and we're only seeing this one person's story, and that's what you're watching. So Star Wars is no different. We're following this one family. We're following the Skywalkers and everything that they have with the Skywalker. Damn it, I got to stop doing that. So I'm just so happy and excited. One of my favorite people is here to join me on stream, and I love having conversations with her. I've missed her so much. And thank God I have an awesome like crew that comes on with me who was able to hold me over. But one of my favorites is back. Welcome, Tanisha. What's up, girl? What is going on? Please unmute yourself if you're muted. Oh my God,
Am I
what is going
muted?
on?
I don't think I'm muted.
No,
Am
you're
I
not
muted?
muted. I can
Okay.
hear you now.
Hey! Hey, Sam!
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be seen. You know what? I will even tolerate that background, that lovely background. Look at
Just for
that.
you.
Oh, I love it. I love
Just
it.
for you.
Looks fantastic. Man, so I was just sitting here rambling about Ahsoka because I've watched the first two episodes of Ahsoka,
Mm-hmm.
and I love this show. And what I was saying, I wasn't even talking about like the episode or what I saw, but I was thinking to myself like this show is an example of what I like about Star Wars.
Okay.
And it's funny because a lot of times there's conversations where people are, they're discussing like, oh, Star Wars, the galaxy's so huge, and there's all these stories you could tell. And that's true. And there are absolutely tons of stories. But we are following the Skywalker drama. That is what we are following. That is the story that's being told. That's not to say that there aren't other stories. And if other people want to tell those stories, by all means, they should.
They should.
But we are
Even though
following
I
the
don't
Skywalker
care.
drama.
But yeah.
Right. And it's like ultimately and I've never pretended like I wasn't a fan of space wizards and laser swords. That is what I love about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Period. And when I'm watching Ahsoka and I see lots of space wizards and lots of laser swords, that is what I want. That is what I want to see. I want to see the Jedi, and I feel like, granted, you have a show, something along the lines of The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a really, really good show. Hey, we got a crew coming in. My man Jeff joining me. And see, look, I didn't even tell nobody he was coming on. Like, I was just like, okay, you know what, remix, we are gonna do a show. It'll be a short show. Maybe folks read between the lines. I don't know. But we do a show every Wednesday. And I'm like, I told Jeff last, I'm like, hey bro, we're gonna take a break here soon. Like just to catch a breath. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
take a break. But then there's like stuff to talk about. And I just be wanting to talk about it. I don't even
Yeah.
need to review it. I just want to discuss it. But oh, Jeff, you missed. I was actually just now saying, I was talking about Ahsoka, and I was saying that Ahsoka is everything I like about Star Wars. Space wizards and laser swords, right off rip. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy. And to me, that is very much Star Wars, And it's not to say that there aren't other good things out there and there are other stories to tell, but it is the Skywalker family drama that created the story of Star Wars. And I wonder if other stories had been told first, would Star Wars still have the same kind of impact? Like if we hadn't done like if the original trilogy had not come first, what if it had been like what's the one that did real good? Rogue One. Like if Rogue One was first.
As somebody who was late to the game,
Okay.
I think it had to happen in the order that it happened in, especially for the time, right? Because had they done it in a different order, it might have been later when people spoiled things, and now you can't go watch something and not have it spoiled for you, and so that whole moment would have been nothing really because it would have been all over the internet eventually.
Yeah.
So I think for the time when you had to go wait in line to watch movies and all that other kind of stuff, and yeah, I
Right. What
think
is
for
what
the
is the
time
I would
it
say
lines
had
of
to
too.
happen
movies?
that way.
Well, I would say too. It's like the thing about Rogue One is if you do Rogue One first, this is in a time also 1977 where we're not really talking about like movies planning to have sequels. Like Episode
Mm.
4, that shit just ends. Like they get the medals, then it's like George Lucas name
Yeah.
pop up. Nobody
Just in case it was
expects
the only one.
right, right,
Yeah.
right. Nobody expects to hear anything. I mean, you see Darth Vader like fly away, but nobody left the movie theater. I don't think like. I mean, that's just a
Can't wait to
storytelling
see the next
device.
one.
Yeah, that's a storytelling device that's been in like all mythological stories. Like the bad guy like creeps away at the end, but our heroes are like satisfied with their victory and this, that, and the third and whatever. And so you really got to think about Rogue One if you want to do it in that context. Then the movie ends with the planet blowing up. You don't get Vader in the hallway.
That movie was sad.
Yeah.
And so do you really want to come out the gate and just blow all your people up?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be thinking contextually like that. Like the end of that movie is supposed to contextualize something that most viewers probably already know. Or is to get the viewer who is just now getting into Star Wars, it's supposed to be a bridge to that next thing. But the movie was made with that in mind. And so I kind of wonder, like, because you can't, like, if you're making Rogue One back then, the story doesn't end with everyone dying. Somebody makes it off the planet and then they're the hero. They're one of the heroes of Star Wars, which may not have been a terrible idea if you look at, a show like Andor. Like Cassian is a charismatic character. He's interesting. He's got, everything you kind of want in like it's like Star Wars is like a universe where there's all these different types of people, but the only people we seem to be following are like the priests and the politicians. But like with the show like Andor, it's like, okay, here is what the spies look like. With a show like Mandalorian, it's like, here's what like our mercenary class looks like, our warrior class looks like. And so I think as Star Wars has created a universe, and yet in their biggest flagship arena, which is like the theatrical trilogy, they have been very afraid to really get out and explore that universe. And by that, I mean, tell stories from the perspective of somebody who is not in either that religious or political class. When they do that in the shows, I think it works more for us Star Wars fans because it really taps into like a more diverse audience, which is what attracted us to Star Wars. Like everybody doesn't want a political, religious thriller. Some of us want to see people go on missions, and we want to see spy stuff. We want to see relationships. We want to see, deeper, because it's not like Marvel where there's all these comic books and you have like a whole swath of superheroes and characters who have all different types of jobs and all different types of experiences. So it makes sense you can make all the Captain America movies like basically this is our spy born identity thing. And you can make all the Guardians of the Galaxy. These are our Star Wars movies. But in Star Wars, they haven't really, I think, had the courage to take what they've done in the TV shows and apply it to some of their movies. When they have done it, which is, I think, Rogue One, to me, that's more of a spy thriller than it is like the original Star Wars movie. I think, that's part of the reason why it worked. We're seeing the Star Wars universe through a different lens. 1977 was a long time ago. Like,
yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
It was
long. It was a long time ago.
Wait a minute. Let me get some back up in here. Teresa, help me out. Like 1977 wasn't that long ago. I feel like they're coming for me. Like, wait a minute.
In terms of media, not in terms of people.
No, I was talking about in terms of people. I would definitely
in movie years.
All the gray has to agree with that. Like all the gray clearly has to.
I was gonna say, asking the oldest person on here, 1977 was a long time ago.
Right. I mean,
at least Sam looks older.
I'm going
no matter how old you are.
Right, and nobody would have known that you were older than me. That's the funny part. It is a galaxy far, far away. It's so funny because it's like it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and yet in so many instances, even in the more modern stuff, it's like they make it a point to make the technology super practical, almost to the point of it looking outdated, which to me is always like a unique perspective.
It's steampunk.
Right. I mean, it's like you see these radars and it's just like lines and dots on the screen. It's nothing complex. They don't have like Minority Report touch screens. And then they have this random piece of equipment that like creates a 3D, like they have the one little disc that they hold up and it creates a life-size hologram, you know, help me, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. And you're like, well, wait, okay, so you have that. And yet over here, this thing is like so dated. Like the
But they also have like
controls.
warp technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, I was watching, so in this most recent the 2 episodes that premiered of Ahsoka. I'm not going to do the spoiler review. Go check it out. It's a great show. I love it. As I've said before, we'll say again, everything I love about Star Wars, space wizards, laser swords, it's in there. But they also do a really good job because it is kind of like the continuation of the Rebel series. So you have the cast of characters to kind of round it out. You have pilots, you have Mandalorians, you have good guys, bad guys, the evil space wizards. You know, they're not really Sith. Maybe they are Sith. They're Jedi, but not Jedi. It's this gray area, but they've got their lightsabers. So it's like that's what I want to see. And you know, when I'm looking at the stuff that's happening, like one of the opening sequences, they have a segment, and all I can think is like, wow, this looks like Star Trek. This looks like this opening segment. It's almost as if they were paying an homage to Star Trek the way they introduce it, because they're out flying in space. The communications off, you like the captain is there, and they're like, "Oh, there's a ship incoming," and they're like, you know, move shields to forward, comms, pull them up on the horn, held the other ship. They're like, you know, ship announce yourself, like, who is it? They don't talk, and it's like, oh, they're the clearance codes they're using are old Jedi codes. It's like, you know what? Call their bluff. Invite them on the ship. Then he gives he like gets ready
That's
to
where
leave
it
the bridge.
deviates from Star Trek.
Right now, he's like, he's gonna leave the bridge. He gives he tells like number two, he's like, you have the floor. She immediately like hops in the captain's chair and pulls the little thing in front of her and whatnot. And then when the ship docks and they come out, the captain goes to talk to the guests. Like that whole segment, the way it took place was like very Star Trek-esque. And I thought it was really cool because it's not something you typically see in the Star Wars universe, for them to have, for it to make sense and not just be some weird sci-fi. Like everything seemed to be better grounded, and credit to Star Trek for always having been slightly better grounded in their future versions.
Slightly.
Well, I mean, you take offense to that, but I'm saying like credit to Star Trek for being better grounded.
Yeah, but yeah, you said slightly. I think that's I don't know if that's the word I would use.
Well, we removed slightly for being
like
better grounded
they're
in
like
the reality.
far and away way more better grounded.
But it's as a preference. I mean, like there's.
I'm not saying better quality. I mean, it's like people like what they like, but
no.
I just mean in terms of the groundedness of it. Like,
oh yeah,
Star Wars really makes like no sense. Like anybody who's like, it makes some sense, but then it's just like if you've tried to explain it to somebody, it's just like okay, whatever. Like right. So there is magic, like and. But
it's not magic. It's
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's life essence essentially. But yeah, it's something that I've really been enjoying the series, and just all of the different references that I've seen in these first 2 episodes. It made this feel much more connected in the grand sense of science fiction. Like I saw, and I don't know that it's directly influenced, but like there was something I saw where it looked like Fifth Element, like when they had the stones from the Fifth Element, they had to put all the stones on the little statues. Like, I have no fire. Those stones, there was a moment where like this little stone comes up and she has to handle this stone. And I was just like, okay, wait, I've seen Assassin's Creed. I've seen Fifth Element. I've seen Star Trek. I've seen like all these space calendars that exist, not space, but these space maps that have existed in all the different movies, like even Stargate, what I'm saying, where they talked about like it was the perfect sci-fi episodes to me. And I was very impressed with just these 2 episodes. So I encourage everybody to go watch Ahsoka. If you like anything Star Wars, this will probably have the stuff in it that you like.
So
And I
now that
will
we
say,
know
if you
aliens
haven't,
exist,
oh,
does this make it all better?
let's get into it.
Now that we what?
Now that we know aliens exist,
Right.
how does that make you feel?
But here's the thing: we don't know if those aliens came from outer space.
Interesting. Interesting.
You gonna have to drop more than that, Jeff.
We
Are
all
you
we all
thinking
seen
Hollow
Mario
Earth?
Brothers.
Wait, are we thinking Hollow Earth?
It's
Portal
dinosaur
technology?
people. It's
Yeah.
dinosaur people living underground.
See,
Oh
and I
yeah,
mean,
what
it's
was that one movie where they were here all along?
Mario
They were
Brothers.
frozen. No, they were
Oh,
frozen. They unfroze. I don't know. I don't remember. I gotta
that
look it up.
sounds like an X-Files episode.
I'm thinking that's not the plot of V, was it? Like,
What was that movie?
I don't know. I think the one that's probably drip fed us all these images of aliens over years, and then when the movie Paul came out, and it had, I think it was like Seth Rogen was the voice of the little gray man.
Yeah.
It's like, in my mind, I was like, you know what? That's probably what it is right there. Like, that's really what it probably is. Not only have they already come down, they've made contact. You look at the leap in technology in such a short period of time, and then
Talking about the world's end.
Let me see.
No. The World's End was part of that. Was the Simon Pegg movie.
Yeah, but it was like the whole thing was it was basically like a bunch of aliens, and they uncovered that aliens had been like giving us all this tech secretly and
Yeah.
advancing society.
Well, no,
And
I mean we were just talking about Transformers, Sector 7. Everything they did was reverse engineered from the recovered piece of the Decepticon. You know, oh, okay, here we go.
Well, I've always said, like, who first decided what aliens look like? Because we've all kind of got that same like big head, body situation, big eyes. Like, who decided that? And we just all kind of ran with it. And I wonder why. I'm one of those people. I'll go down a rabbit hole
Real quick,
so
you know
far
what I'm saying?
down.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, honestly, that's what I'm saying. I think there is so the thing that I think is very interesting, and this is where, like, I'm glad we have a diverse cast tonight because we're about to like really go off the rails here. but it's like, and I needed my right crew for this. It's so interesting because, of course, it's like everybody's like, oh, the media controls, and it's like the Illuminati. They make the decisions as far as what we can know, can't know. You know, somebody, the chairman or the head snake or whatever the case may be, because apparently, like, they all lizard people anyway, right? So they have decided what information can be fed to us. And oftentimes you see, like, they hide it in plain sight. So they show you and expose it so that you become comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like right now, if a person, and mind you, this would be the reality of it, but like if a person saw a xenomorph alien, like an alien from Aliens, we would already know, like, watch out for the little mouth, look out for the egg. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've been kind of prepared on how to deal with it.
Oh, for sure. And I've always said that anyway with technology in movies. Like, if you see it in a movie, it already exists, right? I remember like when Minority Report came out and it was a whole thing with Tom Cruise doing all this stuff. And I'm like, somewhere somebody already doing all of that. And here we are now, you know, look at the technology that we hold in our hands. You know, when you look back at movies of old, it was all these great things. And I'm like, now we're doing it. Look at it. I mean, we got the Jetsons.
Okay, so
right.
I remember there was a movie, Dick Tracy.
Colin Dick Tracy.
Back in the day, that, like, it started off as like one of those little shorts, and it was a comic. I don't know if it was ever like an actual comic book, but I know it was part of a comic strip. And that used to be a big thing. Get the Sunday, you know, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, get the Sunday funnies and have like the whole big page of comics. And I remember when I was a kid, like, Dick Tracy was still in the comics from time to time. And then as time went on, you stopped seeing Dick Tracy in print anywhere. And then Warren Beatty made a movie, Dick Tracy, and the coolest thing in the world, my man had a two-way wristwatch communicator. I got a whole phone on my wrist right now. Like I don't even have to be connected to my phone to talk. So just that technology, like not only existing, but existing so casually now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm literally upset. Like I don't have them on right now, but I've talked about my Bluetooth glasses that have my prescription in them. I love those things. I wear them
We're
all the time.
desensitized to all of that. Like
my
a
theory
couple years
is
ago.
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, see, my theory is some of that stuff I feel like they put in movies to like subliminally train like
Mhm.
these little genius kids to like make it in the future. So it's like you grew up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. You walk around, you seeing them using little flat pads for everything.
Yeah.
Now every phone is a little flat pad.
Mhm.
Every tablet is a little flat pad. They
And
want to
each
take your
generation,
laptop and fold it in half and make that a flat pad. Because
They've
some little
definitely
boy was
given us
watching
a
Star Trek.
roadmap.
yeah.
And they've desensitized us. I remember like before a couple of years ago, they talked about like us having chips and stuff in our hands, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, the government!" And da da da. Now I go to work in the cafeteria, people are paying with their hand.
Ain't
They
no
have a
way.
whole system where you can link your card to your fingerprint,
Biometric.
your palm
Okay.
print, and people are just in line and just swiping their hand and going about their business. And I'm like,
I mean, but
what
even
is
then,
going on?
but even the simple technology, we talk about like the NFC, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
again, right here, this thing is just as important as like I literally feel naked if I don't have this
Mm-hmm.
watch on. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird feeling because I can get up, leave my house, and with the exception of my driver's license, I don't have to carry a debit card with me. I don't have to have my phone with me. I could literally just have my
I'm
watch
so
on.
old. Yesterday, I forgot my debit card in the car, and I'm old. I didn't want to go back. And she's like, "Oh, we have the Apple Pay thing." I was like, "I have no idea how to use that." She's like, "I bet it's on your phone." And I put on. I was like, "Oh my
Click,
god,
click,
I'm
click,
so
Apple Pay.
old."
But I
Yeah,
tell
I'm
you,
like,
but see, the crazy part is I'm one of those people who's like so willing to embrace technology. Like I'm at that right hybrid cusp of everything that we can do with technology is super cool to me, but I'm like still young enough to understand and learn it and pick it up fast enough to enjoy it. I'm mad that I don't have I hate that they canceled Google Glass and every day like I'm constantly researching AR glasses because I want to like put on my glasses and see
mhm.
information right away. When
And so
Pokemon Go,
nothing about technology makes you hesitant at all. I mean, I was like, I worked for the federal government for 17 years. They already have whatever they're going to have on me. I don't really care.
and I'm like, I don't do anything of value that I feel is gonna have like I have the Google devices in my house. People are like, you know,
Mhm.
they listening. I'd be trying to tell it what to find for me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
Like,
the only thing that really tripped me out, I'm like I said, I'm behind on everything, which is why I don't know any movies or anything. But I finally caught up on Black Mirror when I had to take my braids out, and I saw the episode of which one was it where they created the show on the girl's life. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Was it the one Ashley?
Every Joan is awful. Was that?
Oh yeah. With Salma
And so I
Hayek and
was, I'm like, they're telling you, they're picking all this up from your device. And at no point was she like, okay, maybe I need to get rid of my phone and all this stuff. Like, none of that.
no, the very first thing she did was try to make more phone calls.
Yes. And then even from that, the layers of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Michael Sarah, and that was so hilarious, but the layers of reality within that. And I'm like, how do we know where we're really at in life? Like, I'll get down in there. So.
I mean, Teresa. What are your feelings on like the integration of technology to your day to day?
You don't have to include me in the conversation. I'm half
Well, no, I
asleep
mean
anyway.
because
Um, but the integration of technology in the day to day, I'm kind of like you. I'm oddly.
like I'm fascinated by it personally. It's almost to say like I am going to be a problem because when the robot overlords take over, I'm okay to
Is it
embrace it
mine?
because it's oh, there you go. You're breaking up. What was that?
Yeah, I was just saying whose internet is bad. Is it mine? Because everybody disappeared for a second. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty willing to embrace it, especially if it makes my life easier. Now at home is a little bit different though. I'm like I have an Echo Dot and I have one of the little screen things, and they're both still in the boxes. I've never hooked them up because I am a little paranoid about being listened to at home, and part of that is my job, and we have health information, and sometimes I'm one of those people that I might find myself reading something out loud, and it might be somebody's health information. So that's one of the reasons I haven't hooked up things in my home. But
Okay.
everything else is on my phone. I walk in the house and turn on the lights with the phone, turn on the TV with the phone, like that. If it's gonna make it easier, save me 2 steps, then I'm all over it.
I want the house that I saw from the Jetsons. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's
I
my
don't know
push
about the
button?
really smart houses though. The ones that could turn on you and trap you inside, pull the blinds down, and cover the windows so you can't get out. I don't know about that, but I'm good with turning on the lights with the phone.
Okay. And I mean, honestly, that's definitely a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because as we were talking, like, Black Mirror, one of my favorite shows. We're gonna do an episode specifically dedicated to the show Black Mirror because it's got like so many seasons and so many
Oh my
various
god,
episodes.
I love
Um,
Black Mirror.
and it's like there's an episode, the entire history of you,
Oh god. I always
and
That's one of those episodes I tell people, if you've never seen Black Mirror, that's one of the ones you need to watch.
that is my introductory episode. Now, the only
Mhm.
thing about Black Mirror as a whole is like you'd have to go online to find it. I don't know it offhand, but if you watch the episodes in a particular order, you can actually watch the advancement of the technology through the series. And when you watch it in that order, it starts to make it you get to see the show in a different light.
Mhm.
If you just watch it randomly the way Netflix plays it, it's scattered stories. It's like Sex Love Robots, where it's just random stories that are being told.
But the
And
one with Letitia, right? Is that her name?
yeah.
But the museum, that one brought a lot of stuff together if you were paying attention.
It
So
did.
I
The
would
way
be
they
interested to go back and
transitioned.
watch it in a different order.
Well, see, my daughter had never seen it, so we were just watching it the other day, and like we watched was it Downward Spiral, and Downward Spiral is one of the best because it talks all about like how social
Nosedive.
media nosedive.
Nosedive.
It talks about how social
That's the
media,
Bryce Dallas Howard one.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and how everything is influenced. Like, oh yeah, okay, well, thank you so much for this coffee. Oh, send
Yep.
you a like, send
And
you a
it
like.
seemed like an exaggeration, but that's
I'm gonna
like
be
it's just
real, bro.
it spoke more to emotionally what goes on inside of you, regardless of what externally actually happens. But the emotional part of all of that is what people literally go through when they post stuff and people don't care or say that
Yeah.
you're mean or do whatever. Like your whole life is based on social media.
Jeff got thoughts.
Damn.
Come
You know
on.
how you always be talking about like you as the original creator of the Born Identity movies?
Right.
I remember when Facebook made the like, and I was like, this is gonna be one of the worst things ever. And people were like, why? And I was like, because before that on Facebook, it was just like I would go to somebody's page, write something funny. You put up a funny status, or you put up a whatever status. Maybe you're trying to be cryptic about who you dating, yada yada. You sending secret messages, all kind of stuff. And this is like I'm in college when Facebook comes
Right.
out, and this is when it was like you had to be in college to
Yep, I had
be
to have
on
a college
Facebook.
email. Yep.
So it was a much different experience when it first came out, and then when they added pictures, and when they added tagging, and when they added likes, that shit turned it into the cesspool that we see today because
It became
it really
a place for
became
marketing.
it became about attention,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not staying connected. And
Yeah.
so people writing stuff just for likes, and that's when you start seeing people writing like cryptic depression Facebook statuses.
Yeah.
So people are coming and be like, "Oh, hope everything is okay," and then they feel good from getting a big rush of that. Because people used to come at me and be like, "You don't never like my stuff." I was just I held firm for a long time where I was just like, I'm not liking nothing. I'm gonna write a comment if I have if it's something, I'm be like, "Oh, that's funny," or I'm gonna leave a picture, or I'm gonna leave a GIF. Like, you know me, I'm good for leaving a picture or a GIF or a meme or a comment. But I saw that, and then when I see how people like, it's like you're not really. There's no scrutiny in what you like.
Yeah,
you just liking it so that a like now is just basically telling somebody I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Oh yeah, that's it. Like, because you see people when you're next to them, they're just scrolling and liking and scrolling and liking.
Yeah, like you didn't even
look at this. A little sprinkle of that with MySpace with that top 5.
Yeah.
Woo! You can get in trouble with your top 5.
If you change your top 5, somebody's not in your top 5. Ooh, what's going on with them?
Yeah, then that's what happened with the Facebook integration too, because that MySpace energy came to Facebook, but it came to Facebook with likes and with photos and tagging and people being able to see who's writing on your wall and notes. That ain't on there no more, but Facebook notes used to be crazy.
I very clearly remember on my MySpace
questions, anonymous questions.
Oh. You know what?
What were we doing, people?
I did the anonymous questions one time, and I was like, delete. We're not doing that ever again. Because it was like people I wouldn't even think would have. It was literally a moment where it's like, I don't even feel like, okay, so I'm one of those people, like, a lot of people know who I am, but I would not say that equates to me being popular. And I feel like there's a difference. Like, just being well known is not the same as being popular. And I've always been well known. And
same.
Putting up one of those things, it was like some of the questions that came through that, I was like, there's a lot of stalker energy in these questions. Wait a minute. I'm not the person that should be getting these kind of questions. Okay, you know what? We're not doing this. Wait a minute. You know what? I get in enough trouble just in my life being me. I'm not adding to it with this foolishness.
Precisely. No. And it's just like people with no it's just a community of people with no self-control.
Right. Yeah.
Mixed in with the rest of us.
Well, see, what's really funny is I actually, at one point, I found Facebook to be one of the most like toxic environments that existed. And this was, I could go back and look. When did Grown A Geeks get created? We'll say 6 years ago. 6.5 years ago, I was like on the verge of just like deleting my Facebook account. And if we look back at the time, what was going on, just call it like it is, who was president, the elections that were happening, all of that, everything, just the world was in a very unique place. And I was like seeing a lot of interesting political, and I'm not a hyper political person. I have my beliefs of what I think and feel, you know what I'm saying? But it's always been one of those weird things where it's like, you know, at a job, they tell you like the things you don't talk about, politics and religion, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like people get in their feelings about that stuff for real. And so, it was like there was a lot of like racial tension in the world at the time. And I was just finding that like people just couldn't get along on any platform about any kind of conversation. And I was at the point where, like I said, I was having arguments every other day. People that I had known from like elementary school that I could say like, we've been friends since elementary school. Apparently we really not friends. We just know each other. And because we've known each other for so long, here it is the first time I say something that you don't agree with, like you don't.
They thought you was one of the good ones, Sam.
And I'll tell you, even stuff like that I had to directly call people out and check people. Like the way I talk, the way I speak like this because my mother was a teacher. Okay. That's why I talk the way I talk. So when you say, "Oh, well, I thought that," I mean, you speak so well, that ain't got nothing to.
You
There
speak
are
so
people.
well.
Let me tell you, there are people who speak way worse than me, but are 10 times smarter than me. But because they can't articulate it the way you know what? And it was like, I can't do this. I don't have the patience. I don't have the energy, and I'd be done snapped on somebody. So I went through, and I mean, like, I could show you some pictures of who I was versus who I am. They're not the same person, but I had to like go through, and I literally went to my Facebook page and I deleted every like. Anything that I liked, I deleted it. And after deleting all of that, Facebook had no understanding of my algorithm. I
Mm.
went through and I deleted all of the groups that I was in, and I had to like rejoin a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that I was interested in follow. But now when I log into Facebook, I see almost no political content because I don't want to see it. That's not why I'm on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I see very little, like, honestly, 90% of what I see are memes and joke pages. I would say 90% of what I see is grown geeks. That's like the only thing on my Facebook feed, really, is grown geeks, a couple of the geek pages that I follow, some joke pages, and now, of course, because I'm, trying to get into my whole social media influence a bit, I'm seeing a lot of advertisements for how to grow your channel, how to this, how to that. I see all of that. Like I was just talking to my son the other day. I got a new thing coming up. Yeah, I'm excited. Me and my kid are going to do a show called Next Gen. I thought that was
Aww.
right. I thought that was such an awesome title. But sometimes, like he and I, we just sit and have the conversations that we have, and they're like extremely geeky conversations, completely nerding out with one another. But it's like my older perspective, his younger perspective, and he's always got some insight. And it was great. So, and we're gonna do this just as a audio podcast. Like I want to get
Mhm.
back into doing just the audio files and have that get back on Spotify and whatnot. We had it here for a moment, but I like doing this. I like doing the long form content that we do. He and I will do a show. It'll be called Next Gen. Look out for it.
Very
But
cool.
once I changed my algorithm on Facebook, Facebook is a fun place for me to be again. And every once in a while, I've noticed like I see the same people, because these
I
are the people I
hate that.
follow. These are the people I interact with. But what I do is I've discovered, like, literally, I go and I do talk. That is what I'm told. That's
Just say
exactly
it.
what I hear. But it's funny because, like, at my job, I have to call people before I show up, and I can see the look of
Bruh.
shock on their face.
And then with it, my name is Sam.
Right. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
it's one time at work, because when I get on here, I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm from
So be you.
Decatur, but it's in me. I can, if I need to. I was at work one time and I had like a cubicle, and I was on the phone with somebody. It was like a vendor, and this black girl that I work with, walked by, and she like poked her head around the thing, and I was like, "What's
I didn't know
up?"
who that was over there.
She was like, "I was trying to see who this white man was at your desk on the phone."
Jeff, somebody at your desk.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I mean, I don't know. I've kind of figured out the algorithm and what I do when if it's like somebody that I haven't seen or interacted with in a while. Much like we said, I make it a point to like go to their page, post something on their page directly, and even with you guys, you all may notice that I'm notorious for supporting my friends, and I'll like anything that you post. I have to kind of read through it. I gotta say, you post some craziness and they getting that like. But you know what I'm saying? I look, and if what if you're doing something, you're building your brand, whatever, of course I look, I come through, check, okay, boom, like. You know what I'm saying? But you all can, I think the three of you can at least attest, you'll always get a comment from me. You'll get an emoji, you'll get
I get an emoji.
a funny little statement or something that goes beyond just a like and move on.
yeah. When they expanded the like offerings, then I started using them. Like when they added like haha and don't like and or
thank you for
I only use the frowny face as a joke though. So I ain't actually going on nobody post for real and like disliking something. But
Hey,
like,
what's going on,
if
Sid?
somebody posts something about Zack Snyder, I'm gonna post a frowny face on it.
But you know what? I will say every time I've seen you post a frowny face, I know it is an intentional, like, haha moment.
Yeah, it's sarcasm. I'm not really
And
mad.
what is the name? What is the name of that movie with Lakeith Stanfield and Danny Glover, where the two men have a
with the call center.
yeah, where they compliment each other? Oh,
Sorry.
is it sorry
to bother you?
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. I think that's it. I'm just like, oh no, you have a good day, brother. No, you have a good day. You know what? I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope your day is excellent and all your hopes and dreams come true. You know what? You smell nice. Oh, really? Yeah, that's just shampoo. That is one of the best scenes in that movie. That is such a good movie. And you know
I
what?
like it because it's one of those things where it's like I like the online discourse sometimes around stuff like that when it's just like clearly like something just for us and like watching others like try to get it.
Yes, I was about to say, like, and see, and honestly, there was a phrase I was going to use when you talked about having to make that phone call, but I was like, no, we ain't giving away them secrets tonight.
Oh,
we all know the word. It's like,
yes,
but it's like, you know what? We're not giving away them secrets.
Yeah, man, I'm not giving away the vibranium no more.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing: if you can make it to Wakanda on your own, I welcome you with open arms. But I am not. I'm not bringing you here.
No sponsorships.
No.
Exactly. My literal feeling, and Jeff, you posted something the other day that I thought was like the perfect. It was stated so eloquently. But yes, we do have to stop. We have to be a little bit more biased with our invitations to the cookout.
The Andrew Schultz thing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Man on crack rock.
The way, and you know what's funny? Like Andrew Schultz was very, very funny for a very long time. And like watching that one clip, I was like, wait, what? Wow. Okay. So you really just been like getting over this whole time. Okay.
This is like the thing. This is like the thing about the cookout, right? Like you got to just understand, like culturally,
yes,
black people have a different idea of fun and funny than like other cultures, and that's across the board. Like every culture kind of has its own like baseline of like what they think is funny, and then they jump off from there, right? You experience other cultures, maybe as an individual, you can find certain things more funny. But at the cookout, in this collective space, when we are all together, it's like don't be the dude like pushing buttons. But like, see, in other cultures, button pushers are like hilarious to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, like maybe not to come in pushing buttons from day 1, day 2. Maybe you come to 3, 4, 5 cookouts. Maybe it's your 8th Labor Day cookout in a row. But eventually you're going to get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you're going to revert back to what it is that you do and you think is funny. And that's button pushing. And then you're going to say something stupid. Like you caught more of a you caught more of a vibe at Taylor Swift than you did Beyonce. That's your people. She's speaking your language. Like the rhythm she using is in you. We got more syncopation over here.
There you go.
So we're not feeling that. Of course, you like every mayonnaise and everything. Because like when we was found in this country, y'all wasn't cooking. So if the kitchen wasn't open, the best you getting is a mayonnaise and tomato sandwich from the lady of the house.
With a little salt and a little pepper.
Of course you just choking on Lowry's.
They were cooking, but they were just boiling everything.
Lady tried to challenge me and my mac and cheese at the office Thanksgiving potluck. I was like, ma'am, my mac and cheese tray is empty every year, but you can bring yours if you want.
It would literally be a situation like when you take a whole mac and cheese home.
Right. Like you can use this one actually on Thanksgiving. Pop it in the freezer. It's enough.
It'll last. But no, I am not opposed to, allowing anybody space. I welcome any and every one. But the time of me like bringing you along or inviting you just because if you're not comfortable being here, I can't
Mm-hmm.
make it comfortable for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like you have to be comfortable with who you are to be because that was literally one of the themes of Grown A Geeks when I created it. Because I think back and it was like, for a long time, I don't think people didn't know I had this room. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't know when I was out and about, you would not know that a room like this existed because for a very long time, there was a stigma attached to being a nerd, to being a
Mm-hmm.
geek. And
Oh
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? There wasn't 25 movies popular. And so like growing up, it was one of those things where it was like kind of repressed. And, there was only certain spaces where I could comfortably be my authentic self or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not to get too philosophical, but it was like there was definitely a part of me that was shameful of what I liked and because it wasn't popular. And in the neighborhoods that I was in and the people that I hung out with, that group just they ain't see it. So it was like I played
That's because you
football.
picked Superman.
It's not even because I picked Superman.
Oh
That's the
no, I
funny
was just
part.
joking.
I
I was
know.
just
I know. But you know what's funny?
oh
Even
big
that,
blue Boy Scout
right.
head.
Even
Mm-hmm.
that. But somebody said it's funny because something like that just came up at work. And so with my coworkers, like we have a group chat, and in one of the group chat, I was telling somebody like, hey guys, make sure you do this, da 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 da. And somebody's like, well, why should we have to do that? And other teams and da 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 da. And I was like, look, don't worry about what the other teams do. Do what you're supposed to do and do what's right. We're better, like we're better than that, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to motivate them, but at the same time, it was like just because they're cutting corners doesn't mean it's okay for us to cut corners. Do the job, do it right. And of course, everybody was like, here goes Superman. And I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay. If that's how you want to take it, then yeah, you take your pick. Superman, Captain America, hell, damn, All Might right there. It is
Sam
those
said I
characters.
could be Injustice Superman if y'all
I mean,
keep
it's your
fucking with me.
choice. It's your choice. How do you want this to go down? But I mean, it's like because this was a space where I was like, you know what? Not so much to reinvent myself. Somebody thought I was having a midlife crisis. I'm like, I ain't even old enough for that yet. Ain't no motorcycles coming. But it was like, yeah, there was just a full embracing of this geek culture. And of course, now that it's a popular thing, it's like, oh, all of my stuff can come out.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's, you know what I'm saying? And it's like now, of course, and it's so funny because people who only see the surface of it, like this is the first time they're exposed to it, they don't know like how long this has been. And so it seems like, oh wow, so you really like those Marvel movies. No, like that ain't what did this. Like just because that's your jumping off point, you can't make that same comparison. And it was, it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. You had to be like people say D&D now, and that's not a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so
See,
many more people are interested in doing tabletop gaming. But Jeff
see, this
Miller,
is always funny to me because I feel like my experience was like a little bit different because I could draw.
oh
So
yeah,
because I could channel my geekness into something that like people thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I never. It was never weird. Like it was never weird to be like. It was weird to be sitting around like reading comics and talking about who could win, Wolverine or Hulk. But it wasn't weird to like sit down and draw Batman or Wolverine or whatever.
oh no,
Because
because
then kids would be like, "Oh, can you draw?" And then that's how I started making money. My grandmother thought I was selling drugs, but I was really selling pictures.
and the crazy thing, I can absolutely see that as a high school hustle back in the day. Like, because that would have been lit to have those kind of pictures back. Because you only knew a handful of people that could do that. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to do like even to the level that you do it, they was really getting over. Let's see. How do y'all feel about Michael B. Jordan playing a black Superman, such as Val Zod? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like, I have no problem with that. I think that's a story that needs to be told. I don't know that he's ready to be a Calvin Ellis. I just don't think he has the look, but he could probably pull it off story wise. So I'm down for it.
I would need to have an understanding of how this world in the movie is going to receive a flying black version of Superman.
Well,
if they're gonna be real about how it would really be, then I'm down to see it. But if we
I
on
think the
some
story.
kumbaya,
No.
like-
I think the story that would happen would
I don't
be.
see color.
yeah, right.
Yes. No, I think the only way we would tell the story of Val-Zod, it would not be a story of Val-Zod here on this earth. It would be a Superman from this earth traveling to that earth. That would be the only way that
So it would be a black Superman, but he's on another planet. Is this planet full of black people, or am I going to have to watch a bunch of white people be happy about having a black Superman and just have to lie to myself, be like, well, it is on another planet? It's like, no, I don't want to see that.
And see, there's different versions of the story. And the thing is, like, until DC, and this is where I'm you know what, Jeff, I'm going to use your exact phrase. DC is not ready to jump into a full multiverse where we can go to the planet that has Val-Zod. So
they gotta get one verse together first.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Universe.
So while I love, like, how do I feel about it? I love the idea. You know what I'm saying? I have the multiversity issues, so it's different for me.
By the time DC is ready, Michael B. Jordan will be too old.
Yeah. It will be an eventuality. Like, let me get your kids prepped now.
Yeah.
Maybe they can do it.
Isaac Ryan Brown or somebody.
Let's see. In school, being a geek was only acceptable because I sold homework, so third of my class can graduate. I mean, there you go. Like, you know what? That's the other way to amplify your geekiness. Being smart enough to, sell that intelligence.
See, being smart but not being like off-putting. Like Roberto was tweeting about this earlier, where it's just like, how it's like there's that unfortunate incel group of geeks, it's like, I don't be disowning, but it's like, I get it, they're part of this community, but I don't want them to be. I want or I would rather them not be the way that they are if they're going to be part of this community, because they make us look bad.
They do.
Just to be frank and just to be honest about it, them dudes make geeks look bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, dude, girls don't like you. Girls don't not like you because you like Dragon Ball Z or comic books. You know how, like, all these dudes got comic books and wives out here. Like, we all spending all these billions of dollars, raising up our kids, loving Star Wars, converting our wives in certain extents, like, just so they can understand what's going on the TV, because we're gonna be watching a whole bunch of crazy shit that they probably would not be watching if they wasn't with us. In a lot of cases, some folks are lucky enough to find people who have already been baptized into their nerddom.
Like,
but
my wife likes Star Wars, so
either way, being a nerd is not the hurdle to your romantic dreams and desires. Being an asshole is. Not knowing how to communicate with people is. Not washing your body is. Not taking care of yourself is. Not knowing how to listen is. Not having any other interests outside of just a whole bunch of geek shit is. Your friends being assholes and not washing their body is. Because she got friends. You got friends.
We could be friends on the weekend. Like, I mean, but
there's an odor.
Don't know how.
There's an odor.
Right, but you don't know how. You can't intermingle, and that sometimes is absolutely a problem. And it's like, it is sad that one of the stigmas that people just kind of expect for, like, Dragon Con, and I hear it every year, is like, when you get ready to book the hotel, like, it's gonna stank in the hotel the whole time. Why? While I understand that there are going to be people who have their cosplays and they're difficult to put on and take off and all that kind of stuff, and maybe they sweat a little bit. They have showers in every room. There is no excuse. None. And just the idea,
showers, Febreze. Like we have the technology. Like y'all like tech,
We-
right?
right?
Yes,
We
there's
have the
Lumens.
technology,
Use some of this
no
other
excuse.
kind of tech.
right? They have this thing called a spray, an aerosol can. No, it's very interesting. You were talking about
The hotel give you soap.
Yeah. That
They
part.
literally saying please.
So look, we're gonna, you know what, this conversation, I would have like hours of just this conversation. We'll schedule another one of these just random moments. Denisha, I know it is, you know what, I want to thank you for hopping on with us tonight. I know you gave me your hour. I appreciate it. So thank you for being here with me. Anytime you want to hop on, please come back. We miss you, and I need you on another show real soon.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, and I'm gonna reschedule this panel again for another discussion.
Yes.
I don't know what we're gonna talk about that day, but you know, you should have been on the Clone Tyrone episode. That would have been, yeah, that would have been a good one to have you on.
More girl power too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And it is always good.
I'm all about that.
always good. You see, I regularly invite because I like to have that other opinion because I don't have all the answers. So I need insight. And if I say something out of place, I need somebody to tell me. It need to be somebody I would listen to. So that's why I pick y'all. There you go. And when y'all aren't here, it'd be Linda. She'll be real quick to tell me.
Oh yeah, Linda's definitely gonna tell you.
Linda if I even have the thought or if it's going that direction, I'm gonna catch it. So it's good. Right. You ain't got the answers, you know. So you got to have somebody to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple other things that just like in the geekdom that came out. I know Teresa, you recently saw Blue Beetle.
No.
Twice she's seen it. And you know what? And let me tell y'all what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get one of my premiere movie tickets in time. And Teresa sent me tickets for this one. So the fact that I was on last week, I want y'all to really appreciate the sacrifices I'd be making. Because I had tickets for Blue Beetle last week, and we was on, and we had a good show, so I'm okay with it. But it's gonna be a Wednesday. The right movie gonna come, and I'm out. I'm not gonna be here that week. I'm gonna be at the movies, and you know, and I wanted to see that one. I want to see that one, so I'll probably get to see it this weekend.
All right, guys, I'll be around.
All right. Well, we'll look for you.
And
just keep me posted on your schedule, and I'll fit it in.
All right. Bye.
All right. See ya. So you saw Blue Beetle. Thoughts? Good movie. Great movie. Has a chance to help. Is it a good start for Guns DCU?
But is it part of Guns DCU?
I think, you know what? I think the answer to that is going to be
fishy.
No. Because wasn't it in the works when what do they call it? Before the guard changed or whatever?
Yeah. No, absolutely. See, what's going to happen is the final box office is going to determine what side it falls on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the only thing that I can say is I won't say definite or absolute, but it is the actor who was cast for Blue Beetle he is under the new ruling of he will be the face, the voice for all things Blue Beetle moving forward.
And he should be. He did a great job.
So in that regard, yes, it is part of the DCU. Mm-hmm.
But how much are we gonna see Blue Beetle moving forward?
There you go.
I mean, it had, it had a post-credit scene that set it up. So hopefully, because it was a good movie. I think it was a really good movie. I enjoy, obviously, I saw it on Wednesday and I saw it again on Saturday. I really, really enjoyed it. It was reminiscent of a Marvel movie to me.
And you know what? Then that would be that's a compliment for DC. That is absolutely a compliment for DC.
I can definitely, unfortunately, I could definitely see how it might not do real well, though.
I believe it's nothing more than timing for
No,
this
I think
movie.
well, I think there's a potential. There's some potential issues. It was a good 90%. I'll say 90%, 92% of the people that I know, who've seen it, positive, rave reviews, positive things. I've seen 2 people say bad things, and I'm thinking about not being their friend anymore. Just because I can't understand how you could say anything bad about. I mean, I can't. One person, he's just a Debbie Downer. He hates everything.
Right.
But I was really surprised that the other person said bad things. I was also mad because I sent him his passes to see it, and if I had known he was going to say something like that, I wouldn't have given them to him. But I thought it was just lots of fun. Like I said, more reminiscent of a Marvel movie. That humor, I really enjoyed it. But let me say this: I haven't heard anybody say this, but I'm not really around this crowd very much. But I can see how some people might not like it because it is focused on this Mexican family.
Okay.
It is pretty much in Spanish. There's lots of subtitles, and
Okay.
there is some dialogue that's in Spanish that doesn't have subtitles. Of course, that is not primary dialogue, but that's conversation like within the family.
I got you.
That if you understood standard Spanish, you're getting some inside stuff there. And I wish I understood Spanish. I wish I knew like these nicknames that they were calling each other, and what all of that meant. I wish, but even outside of that, what I did understand and what I did read in the subtitles, this was a good movie. It was fun.
Okay.
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed George Lopez's character because I've been reading some things about him that make him problematic, but I really did enjoy his character, and I can see it again.
Okay.
It's that much fun.
Okay. That's what I want to hear. And even when there's stuff that I never have a problem with someone not liking something that I like. That's fine. Opinions and assholes, right? So it's fine if you don't like something I like. I need more than it's trash. It's just not good. Articulate what it is about it that you don't like, just so I have an understanding of where your threshold for good falls.
Yeah.
Because, I do find a lot of people, and we can, even using Marvel as the backdrop for this, what I'm saying? There's a certain sect of people, just in general, who are so quick to be like, oh man, this is trash. And I hate that the term trash has become so synonymous with not liking something because it's overused to the point where to put such strong emphasis on devaluing someone else's creative works. Now, I understand that there are bad movies out there. I do a whole show dedicated to watching bad movies. Right? So I get that there are bad movies. And even those movies, to some degree, that's what I'm talking about. We got to check it out. Just sorry. Y'all, I get excited when I invite people and they show up, and I throw it out there for people to be a part of the stream. And we want to welcome Ty.
What's up?
Is that some more girl power I see?
Mm-hmm. This is a little Leona Regina, our little lion queen.
Okay. Hey, little queen. Check her out. Oh, look at her. She's so adorable.
I know. She kind of looks like that weird filter where they're all like looking like this.
Not the googly eyes, baby. So we got the little T-Rex, and now we got the googly eyes, baby.
Yeah, the T-Rex and the lion cub. There we go.
Check you out. Doing it big, man. So we were just sitting up here talking about. Have you seen Blue Beetle yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
That is on my list.
I've not seen it yet either. And Teresa
That and TMNT.
How can I say this? Wait, yes, no. I started watching. I can't say it a right way. I started watching TMNT, and I have to get a better copy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
I was about to say, I was like, did you not like it? Like all the people that I
had to. I was getting sucked in, and I was like, and then
You
it
won't
was
be
like,
you won't be mad at seeing that in the
Sam, go to the movie theater.
yeah.
especially
we're not
because of
putting
the
that
soundtrack
comment up.
too.
Right.
We're not putting that comment up, but yeah. But yeah, that was everything that I saw about that. When I saw like the cast list and everything, I already kind of knew that I was going to like that movie. One, I like Ninja Turtles. Two,
Yeah.
I like the bigger names that are in that cast. I don't care what they're doing. I'd be interested in seeing it just because you have that ensemble cast.
Right.
And then, like Jeff said, the soundtrack is probably, like I'm certain that's going to be a banger.
Probably. Well, let us just tell you, it is a banger.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just the involvement of, just the involvement tells me it's going to be a dope soundtrack. So yeah, and actually the day didn't go the way I planned for it to go, but I was actually going to try to get to the theater today and do a double feature with my daughter. She wants to see Barbie.
Oh, good for her.
And I could easily convince her to see Ninja Turtles with me. So I was like, you know what? We could probably go make a day of it, catch 2 movies. I'll see Barbie with her. She can watch Ninja Turtles with me. We'll trade off. But then I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to do a double feature, I want to see Blue Beetle and Ninja Turtles. I want to see Barbie. And it was like, but, you know what I'm saying? I want to spend time with my daughter. So which would it be? Would it be Barbie and Blue Beetle or Barbie and Ninja? I want to get out and support Blue Beetle because I want Blue Beetle to get the support that it needs.
Amen.
Ninja Turtles is going to do fine. You know what I'm saying? Like Ninja Turtles is going to do fine.
Yeah, but it's been out longer, though. You might want to catch it first before the movie theaters start, cutting down
pulling
the
it.
screenings.
I know. I'm going to end up having to catch some of these movies by myself. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to.
Hey, bro, solo movies are fire.
That's the way I do it anyway.
No, let me tell you, okay, so here's the holdup, or here's the delay. I took it upon myself one time to go and see a movie, and I did not take my wife. And we've had very clear discussions about this. There are certain shows that I haven't watched yet. There are certain things. And so what we do now, and I'm gonna get like a big dry erase board, and I'm gonna put like everything that I want to watch on the dry erase board, and I'm gonna just have her go by and put a check on it. If she's good with it, put a check by it. Okay, I'll wait for you on that. If it ain't got no check, I'm gonna watch it when I watch it. I'm gonna see it when I see it. Me time, whatever. Because I get up on a Wednesday and go to a midday, go to a 12 o'clock movie because I'm off, and that's what I want to do. I want to see this movie. Sometimes I watch stuff just to get it watched before my show that night. You know what I'm saying? So I got no problem with that.
So these are the joys of being single with no children.
Now, I will say there have been times where I've been fortunate enough to get, I will take my sons to go see something. And I know it's a problem when they've seen something before I've seen something. Because usually it's the other way around, but they are way ahead of me on this last little run because they've already seen Barbie. They've already seen Ninja Turtles. I don't think they've seen Blue Beetle yet, but that was just this past weekend. And I was upset that I didn't go this past weekend and I haven't made it yet. Like I said, that was kind of my plan for today. It fell through, but it's going to be a busy Sunday. That's all I'm looking at it right now. The wife may have to sleep in Saturday. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't going nowhere because we getting out there. Oh yeah, we giving all the props. Somebody's recognizing you, really killing that daddy time, rocking the baby and having the discussion. Salute. I'm trying to tell you, man.
You gotta get when you can.
Absolutely. But I threw out an invite because Todd's one of our regulars, and he was on our previous show, and we just haven't done one in a while. But fan casted, and we've done some fan casted episodes, and he's got his own podcast, Whiskalodian.
Speaking of coming, season 3 coming this fall.
Season 3, check that out.
Got a trailer video and everything to put out.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna have you. I need to get in touch with your editor guy, and I'm gonna send you a bunch of footage, and I just work that out. Send me a bill. Actually, don't send me a bill. Tell me how much it costs, and I'll let you know if I want it. Let me
send you a quote first.
Right. I mean, if I was just gonna be paying for stuff, I got in-house talent that would take care of all of that. So, but like, yeah, let me know what that would run me. Here's a couple of hours of footage. And you know, it's funny, like taking this back to some of our earlier topics. So the big thing that I've been getting advertisements for lately is all of the AI editors, all the AI software generators and whatnot. And I looked up one recently, and it's called Opus Clips. Now, this is not a promotion to Opus Clips by any means, but I have to say, I took our video, our movie review for Why Did They Clone, or no, They Cloned Tyrone. And I uploaded it through the Opus Clip editor. And Opus Clips gave me pre-generated clips that they made, 60-second clips of us talking in different segments of our show that I could load up as shorts and, you know, like the random video content. And I was like, yo, this is pretty dope. I like this. Like it takes the footage and clips it up for me, creates the captions and the whole nine. And I was like, yo, this would be pretty good. And it even gives me like a rating of how successful it thinks it will be based on the video. And like, I guess it has its own demographic target or whatnot that it's looking at, but it takes its own algorithm, says, okay, based on this video that you did, we're going to use this clip. It has a score of a 99, meaning this would like, this is the most viral of all the clips we created. And first off, I want to say that I was mad that everything that was rated in the 90s and 80s was either Jeff or Teresa talking. I was like, Opus don't know nothing. This is stupid software. Like, you mean to tell me I have not one viral statement at all?
Bitch better recognize.
That's pretty reasonable to me.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I was hosting the show. I was like, you know what? I was hosting the show. It's different.
That seems to match up with my recollection of events.
I was hosting the show. That's what it was. And then it's like you get all the way down, and it did give me, but it gave me 3 clips in a row, and it was talking when it got to the section with the mother. It took that segment and made 3 clips, and it was just me talking and whatnot. And I was like, okay, I see this caption. Yeah, that's cool, but I don't like it. Boom. So as I've gone through and what we got here? We got it. I'm a long-time member, first-time viewer. Didn't know y'all do. I do this stuff with it. Hey, you know what? And look, do this for me, Mr. Raines. Do this. You know what? I don't think I did this tonight. If you are set up, my brother, check this out. This is called Weigh-In Wednesday. Hop on in here, man. Click the link, join the stream. That's how this works. We like the interaction. We like the engagement. This is a live show. You have to go in the green room first. I got to see your background and everything, and if I can pull you out. But hop on in here. Let's talk. Because you've been in the comments all day. It's your comments that have been on screen. You've been talking with us. Come on in here. No. That's fine. Like it. You know what? Okay, I'll take that part down. But there you go. And see, look, we got Mark in here. Yep, Mark the Beat. He around here somewhere. He always hanging out. You know what? I've noticed a couple of other people, regulars wasn't here tonight, but it's all good. Anyway, I'm looking at this Opus clip, and because I like logged in and did the little sign up for Opus clip, of course, it started sending me like all these other AI, and we were talking about the devices listening. I was talking to my son about our upcoming show, Next Gen. But we were talking about that, and I made a joke about how like we need to get those little microphones that you see all like when you see the Facebook videos or the reels and everything, and people have like the little tiny microphone. Can I tell you, like all I'm seeing on my timeline now is advertisements for those little microphones? I'm down. I found a set for $13 now. The first set they showed me was $14.99. I'm down to a $13 set because I keep talking about it, and it keeps sending me other ones. And they go, I'm waiting for the $5.99 set. Say what? No,
algorithm like he must be broke. All right, send him the cheap ones.
Right, and you know what?
Send him the Groupon one.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's like I always make it a point to say those types of things because I know the algorithm recognizes certain things. So it's like when I talk about something, yes, I do see it in my feed and I do see it on the timeline and it suddenly pops up. But I mean, hell, if I do a Google search, that's the only advertisement I'm gonna see for a little bit because all of my stuff is connected. You know what I'm saying? And
it's kind of crazy how like they have all this advanced AI tech, and basically it's just using the same sales tactics as like a used car salesman. Like instead of just sending me the cheapest one first, you gonna highball me and then wear me down every time I keep talking about it and going back to my social media. You're gonna show me a cheaper and cheaper one until I just see the same.
They hope
cheap
you'll
one
jump on that $50 one.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like if you bought a car, then you can like figure out how to beat the algorithm.
And what did I say? I'm down to like the last pair I looked at was in the teens. I'm waiting to get to them single digits. Once I get to them single digits, I'll buy me a pair because I don't expect them to be the best ones. You know what? Here's a theory. We're gonna test this. I remember seeing that. Right. As soon as I buy one, I get the links for cheaper but better ones. Exactly. That's how it always works. But I remember there was a shower head that they were advertising on TikTok for the longest time. And it was like this, they would show like a regular spray nozzle and it was like super weak and had no pressure. And then they have this really colorful light up one and all this, you know, and it like, and it looks like it's a damn pressure washer in your shower. And I'm like, come on, okay, you know what? I'm curious. Click. Let me look. Let me see. And of course, all the reviews are all nothing but 5-star. No.
See, I'm always wary. If they don't have a one where it's like they didn't like respect my request when I asked them to do this, the 1 star. If I don't see a bullshit 1 star or something like that, I'm like,
yeah,
all y'all paid.
Right. All this is paid advertisement. Literally, it's like I have made purchases off of the random online advertisements and things like that. Like I haven't downloaded Temu yet. Like Temu seems to be all the rave right now. They are like desperate to get me on Temu. I had Wish. I've purchased from Wish numerous times. What was the other one?
There's Temu.
No, Temu's the new one.
Shein.
Well, we have Shein shoppers in the house.
Rakuten.
AliExpress.
Rakuten was AliExpress. A lot of stuff from there. Rakuten was the one. Wasn't that like you get the cash back offers? And,
yeah, that's Rakuten.
Yeah. We did all of that. We did all of that for a little while too. I want to say it might have been not like geek.net, but it might have been, you know what? I think it was just called Geek. Like there's Wish, and then I think there was one that was just called Geek. And
yeah,
it was like owned by the same company. They did a lot. It was a lot of the same stuff. But it was like I would order. I had a rule for myself. I was like, okay, if I order something on Wish, my rule was like I had a $20 limit. I would not spend more than $20 on Wish, and it had to like really be worth it. You know what I'm saying? I might spend $5 here, $10 there, $6 here, you know, just like little stuff. And a lot of times what would happen is I would order it, forget about it, and then just get like a surprise package in the mail and be like, oh, damn, I forgot I ordered that because it takes like 2 months to arrive. But it was like I got some cool little knickknacks, and you know what I'm saying? Just some random, like, for lack of a better phrase, I just got some random shit. And it was like cool stuff. And it was fun. And you know what I'm saying?
I gotta share this because that totally just reminded me. There's a comedian, I can't remember his first name. He was laughing at Zoltan, and he has this bit where I was like, you know, like I sometimes when I'm depressed, I just shop, and I forget that I actually shot for it. So I got a package like, oh, looks like I was impressed 2 days ago. Thanks for the coasters.
And you know the funny thing is like the serotonin that gets released, the dopamine that you get from online shopping. Like I absolutely understand how people get an online, like how they can just have an online shopping addiction because, like, okay, so if anybody's been watching any of my reels, I like t-shirts. Like that
And you're
is
rocking them, man.
it's like it is literally a point for me to try to have a different t-shirt. Like that was one of the first things I noticed back when I was watching when Big Bang Theory was on. I noticed the belt buckles that Wallowitz had, and I noted like his shoes and his belts always matched. And I always paid attention to like the shirts that they had on and how often they switched them up and stuff like that. At last count, I think I had like 98 graphic tees. And of course, my best one, I've got a ton of Star Wars ones. I've got a ton of Superman ones, a few DC. I've actually got a surprising collection of Marvel t-shirts, lots of video game t-shirts. There's a good mix in my shirts. So I have to like be careful because if I don't have like a spend limit on what I spend for shirts, I would go broke real quick on just t-shirts. And let me tell you something. I know of a website I can go to and get some dope ass t-shirts. Let me see. He does it. Oh, you see, look right up there by Jeffrey's name. You see that jpnt17.com? I have a dope ass Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Hobie t-shirt. That's on some exclusive shit because y'all don't have that.
And I didn't see that one on the website. I looked for it.
I told you mine was exclusive. There's others
It's
on the
not
website.
I will drop
Okay.
I'll drop the link to that shirt in the chat.
Yes, I mean I like saying it because it's not one that people can regularly find, but I do try to let people know this is where I got this. And I was noticing the other day when I did a Marvel video. All my t-shirts, I had my entire Marvel collection, and it wasn't until like 2-3 days later I was looking and I was like, yo, I don't have my shirt on there. But it's cool because now that means that gets its own video. That shirt's gonna get its own video with a nice little highlight reel.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad about those t-shirt videos because they look so good. And my videos are more fashion. So I'm talking about my things. And then here comes Sam with his cool collage with all the t-shirts. And I'm like, damn it.
But it is. See, what you could in the case of what you would do, I would say if you went back and you did just like take a still image, or every time you get ready to do a fashion video, like boom, take a picture in the outfit, take that collection of pictures, and then you can do just like, this is this week's review, and you would have all of the outfits from this week, and then link a previous video. That's what Grown A Geeks are. We are a group of content creators. I've come to discover that. I am not Grown A Geeks. We are Grown A Geeks. We are a collective of content creators. So that's why I'm always inviting people like, hey, hop on in, be a part of the chat, be a part of the conversation. So here's the thing. Just Tig, put your name in the chat so people can follow you because she has some really funny content and some really like eye-opening content. For anybody that was here as part of the earlier conversation, I need you to follow Tig because like Auntie Tig, you missed earlier where we was talking. You would have been perfect for that portion of the conversation. No, I've said nothing else. You have not been exposed. Just like, hey, if you want to put it out there so people can follow you. I would promote you because it's great. I get on some of these different websites and I've looked at like when I go to Wish and I look at the t-shirts they have on Wish and stuff like that, I don't be wanting to buy any of those. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there are definitely websites that are just dedicated to nothing but t-shirts. And some of the places that I shop are like Styling Online, superherostuff.com. And it's obviously like it's gonna have all that stuff because you can go and you can find like all the anime. You can find like you can search by like topic. If you are a big Star Trek fan and you want to have a lot of Star Trek t-shirts, You can get like the red, the yellow. What is the red, the gold, the blue? You can be a medical officer, engineer, communication. Like you can get the shirt that'll have like the little logo right there. If you want the original trilogy, not original trilogy, but original series and next gen. They have it all broke down that way. And
I'm going to give a shout out to tturtle.com as well, because they got some good stuff. They do a lot of a merge of not merge, collaborative. Like one of my favorite ones that has Link with the Master Sword, but it's glowing blue. Like the Triforce is strong with this one, and
yeah, see, and I love the conceptual mashup. So I'm definitely
mashup. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, and T-Turtle is one. Like I have to be careful because if I hop on T-Turtle, I have like a $200 cart instantly. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we are gonna bring on Mr. Rains. I'm thinking that's Rashad. Now, Rashad, we'll bring you on here. There we go. Okay, we got him. We about to pull him in. Welcome to the stream, sir.
I appreciate you guys,
on,
man.
Oh, no problem.
Another day in the life.
There we go. Now, this is what you do. The first thing I'm going to tell you to do, share this out with all your peoples so that they'll know you on. They can come in and they can be a part of the conversation. Not the link I sent you. Whatever you're sharing it on. Like, matter of fact, I will give you a link that you can share. Here, share this, the YouTube. Actually, you know what? Share the Twitch one. We'll do that when I give you the Twitch. And
this is my stage name.
I got you.
So
all right. So we won't. You know what? You've already said what you said is cool. I'm not going to expose you. We're not going to get you in trouble for participating here as a member elsewhere.
No. All that's fine, man. All that's fine, brother.
Okay, cool. Because let me tell you something.
It's my first. I've never got on one of these, so this is all brand new to me.
We do this every Wednesday. We be here every Wednesday. We always got something to talk about. And tonight we didn't have like a very specific topic. I was like, oh, we'll just talk, and wherever the conversation goes is where it goes.
Yeah, and I've been a follower of the group for quite some time, you know, and I'd never seen this until today, and I was like, well, let me hop on, let me see what these guys are talking about. So,
well, see, I just recently found out about the @everyone option. Because I would have been atting everyone every Wednesday for like 2 years now, if I had known. But I forget who I was. I like did something, and I saw it on somebody else's, another group that I'm in. I got tagged in something, and I clicked on it, and I was like, what did I get tagged in? I go and I look, and it just says @everyone, and I was like, wait, you do that? Wait, what is that? So I went and made a post @everyone. Oh, we getting this every Wednesday from now on, just to make sure that if nothing else, the whole group knows about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you said, how long you been here?
Gotcha, definitely.
You know, and so we've been doing it. Too old to know tech. Boy, stop. Oh man, he hit the wrong button. That's all right. He'll be back. But yeah, man, like T-Turtle. Here's the other problem. I would absolutely make some of my own shirts, but I know that I would get cease and desist. And actually, no, not even that I would get cease and desist. It won't let me make some stuff. Like it'll automatically recognize and cut off and not let me make that shirt because it recognizes licensing for some stuff. Because and this is, small little promo spot. So Grown A Geeks has it. We have a t-shirt site. Like we have merch that you can get. You can click on the link tree, and anytime you see the QR code up, that'll take you to that. But you go to the link tree, and there are some really, really standard Grown A Geeks material. Like we've got Grown A Geeks t-shirts, mugs. We have some some Gag After Dark merch. Because that blew up for a hot second. I see somebody's brought that back, and I'm seeing that pop up again.
Y'all some freaks.
It's just, but what's really funny? I think 2 people have taken on that category, and they keep it going. Like it's just 2 of them, and I'm not gonna put them on blast, but 2 people keep that going and keep it posted.
And I salute them. Thank you.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's always good for a laugh. And I like, we going in, we clicking this, clicking that. But you know, it's like we actually have a really, really dope hoodie. It was based on a t-shirt design I had. And actually it really I can't even like take super credit for it. It was like a very age-old phrase, but can he beat Goku? Because like whenever you talk to people about anime, that is how you power scale. But can he beat Goku? The Dragon Ball Z stands are some of the worst, and everything like Goku is the top tier for most. So I was like, you know what? I think it'd be really cool if Grown A Geeks had like a Goku shirt, and it would be the joke would be is it says, but can he beat Goku? But every time I tried to upload the shirt or have an image with Goku on it, it was like, no, you can't do that. It wouldn't let me make it. So
Not
we
even
had
with like the kanji symbol, not kanji, but whatever they
hold on, we did one better. I know this really dope graphic designer. I know this incredible artist who made that shit happen. I got a super fly ass, but can he beat Goku hoodie, t-shirt, mug. Like that shit is dope because somebody knew how to do it. and you can very clearly see Goku in it. And we didn't even have to put the word Goku. It just says, but can he beat? And then you see Goku. And it looks dope. And I've had a number of people buy that one. I would come up with a lot of really good concepts, but I would need the licensing to make a lot of these. And if I could get around that part, I would have some really exclusive and really dope shirts. Like I've seen one, the Stankonia cover that's got, I've seen that from, you've got Outcast on the cover, you got Big Boy standing there, and then you got Andre 3000, and he's doing his hands like that. That's one of the most iconic images as far as like, just album covers and whatnot. People see that and they know exactly who it
got
is.
to get this baby down for bedtime. But it was a pleasure seeing you guys.
Hey man, I appreciate you hopping on. Catch up with me soon.
Will do.
All right.
Have fun with the young one, brother.
Oh yeah, like he's do not envy that. Mine is grown now. My youngest is 22. I ain't got to rock nobody, so I'm like, yes. But it doesn't stop because I still got to be fair. But
well, Sam,
like,
if you get your image, I know somebody who will put it on a t-shirt for you.
Oh, I like it is easy to get things made. And to like, what I'm saying, but it's like I do want like a certain bit of quality and accessibility. And you know what I'm saying? It's like I've seen that image a number of times. And so it's like I've seen the Stankonia cover with Goku and Vegeta. I've seen it with Huey and Riley. I've seen it with Rick and Morty. Every one of those shirts is a dope shirt in my head. You know what I'm saying? And it's like to have Morty standing there and then have Rick being the one doing this, like that's a dope shirt. You know what I'm saying? That's a shirt I want. And then I look and they want $35 for that shirt.
I'm lucky enough. I'm lucky enough to where I have a graphic designer who's he's made me a Super Saiyan God, and then he made me a Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Kind of wild because I'm bald now, but at the time I had a frohawk, so I had the frohawk popping. But he was able to do that, and I have tattoos and stuff. He was able to incorporate my tattoos as well, and then I also have another brother who owns a print shop. So if I just reach out to him and say, "Hey, I got this idea," he can usually put something together for me. So a lot of the stuff that I wear is ideas, that I have myself, and I'm just like, "Hey, can we try this out?" And it's not my own brand, but it's a me thing, It's a me thing, and I like it.
I absolutely get it. I went somewhere the other day and I just wore one of my Grown A Geek shirts, and I had two people ask me, "What's that?" You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like, hey, scan this QR code right here, and it'll take you, because I'm notorious for that.
See,
And I'm
there you
always talking
go.
about my QR code. And it's like, I'm all about the self-promotion and self-branding and whatnot. But at the same time,
Cool.
it's just like I live, breathe, eat, sleep, drink this geek lifestyle. And I'm loving that it is so on the forefront these days, and it is super accessible and it's everywhere. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Because everybody's on their phones, everybody's on a tablet, everybody's on a computer. This is really so.
yeah,
This is how we brand, ourselves and have our
I,
discussions to where we can meet with people across the world and just discuss things that we're all into.
now you know what's funny? Anytime somebody posts something and I don't know what they're talking about, I immediately head to Twitter. I don't even Google it anymore because Google is just going to tell me, like, if there's something controversial that people are talking about and you Google it, you're going to get the Wikipedia page for that person. You're going to get like their top whatever, if they're a musician, you're going to get like their most popular video or their recent album. You're going to get that information. But if they like did some shit, something's happening with them and you want to know what's going on, you go to Twitter and you search that trending person or that trending name, you'll find whatever it is instantly. So it's amazing
Twitter
because
is Twitter is all telling.
it is amazing how quickly that information is accessible. And you're right. I think like depending on what you need, like my wife doesn't look for. So her big thing lately has been like home improvement. So we've been doing like just every time I turn around, we got a new home improvement project around the house and whatnot. And she is YouTube University all the way. She wants to know how like we had a paint sprayer the other day and she was looking for how to like clean the paint sprayer and whatnot and like watched a 4-minute video of a person like completely disassemble the paint sprayer, showed what they did, how they did this, how they cleaned. And I was just like, that seems like that would have been like just the way you would do that. And she was just like, yeah, but she couldn't figure out because like once you take the main bucket off, the sprayer nozzle, like it detaches in like 4 different places. Like you actually break the sprayer down. And so I was like, oh yeah, okay. See, I wouldn't have known. I would have literally thought you just take this out, rinse the bucket out, get all the paint out of that, and then maybe run some water through it to clean out. No, there's all like little bitty components you take out and clean off and stuff. Citizen of Wakanda. Okay.
As I say, I just realized.
Yeah,
I
see,
just
see,
realized
and
I was
that's what
wearing
I'm
one of them
like.
custom shirts. But no,
See, all
you're
of the
exactly right. Like we're living in an information age. You can get everything. Just a nice little search will tell you whatever you find, whatever you want to know. We are
yeah,
living in the like we were talking about earlier, where time where even AI may not even necessarily be necessary because all we have to do is type it into our phone and right there for you.
yeah. There's and the funny thing is, it's like it amazes me when I think about like how accessible YouTube is because we all have like our portable computers, right? I'm just waiting for the day where this portable computer, like the 3D hologram pops up from it. You know what I'm saying? I imagine we can't be too. Actually, you know what? When the next generation of AR glasses, because it won't be the first gen that does it, but when the second gen of AR glasses comes out, it will have the holographic display that integrates with your glasses. Watch. I said that, and watch how it goes. Um, and I only think back because, like, when you do VR gives you all of those options now. And when the Kinect camera first came out for the Xbox 360 and they had the Kinect camera, I remember they had made so when you think back to like Minority Report where Tom Cruise had like the special gloves and he was able to like move stuff and all the computer was like 3D and it was in the air and whatnot. They made it with the Kinect where you could interact with the digital objects on the screen by just like reaching out and like you could pick up the ball and toss it and stuff like that. So that technology is definitely on the way. And I think the biggest concern people have with AI is, like when you use AI for some things, I feel like it is, you'll get the hang of this. I mean, honestly, a lot of people do that the first couple times they come in because, like, especially if you're doing it like on your phone,
Yeah.
it's a little tricky to like join in on your phone.
Yeah.
Because to get to like chat options and things like that, it's on a different screen, and if you swipe wrong, it'll disconnect you. But they're currently refining holographic tech that doesn't need the smoke for it to be visible. Yeah, see, and that's why I'm saying I think it'll be incorporated into glasses where they can basically create a heads-up display that makes that visible. And I know when you're on your phone, the way you have to swipe across the screen for it to pop up is a little different, man. So I trust you. I've tried to join in my own show one time. I wasn't hosting that day, but I tried to join in my own show from the phone. Kept getting disconnected. I was like, okay, it's clearly just the way the interface is set up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that the biggest concern people have with AI is just what functions the AI can govern, because the AI algorithm is incorporated into a lot of the different technology that we already use. So it's, like people can't be like, oh, AI's taking over. No, AI's been here for so long. It's already been doing stuff. We just didn't necessarily call it AI before. Now they are just like, they've pulled the wool back, and now we know that there's no man behind the curtain. There is no Oz, that it's just a person typing.
See, for me, like that's where like the issues start for me with like I'm not like no uber tech savvy person. Like I use like regular people amount of technology. I got iPad, computer, TVs. I don't have all that voice control stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't, because for me, I look at it like with a lot of technology and in my opinion, a lot of science across the board, it is like you said, it's the information age. But the thing about it is what people do with information is important. Yes, being able to have information, having access to information is important, but that's not the complete equation. And I think a lot of times, like when you're dealing with tech, it's like, what can we do? And it's like, cool, okay, that's question one. The next question is like, should we do it? Or once we've discovered something, what should we do with it? And when I look at how they just always trying to sneak something in, like, oh yeah, you could get this Google Play thing and it'll do all this stuff to your house. But we're listening to everything y'all talk about, and we gonna sell this information to the government in 10 years when they come in and buy all our accounts and information. Yeah, send in your DNA and we can tell you exactly where like your family is from in the world, break it down. But then we gonna sell all the information to the government. So now your DNA is on file with the government. It's like, tell me that up front, and then maybe I'll be willing to trust some of it more. But because so much stuff, I think with tech, like you said just now, AI has been around for years. We just wasn't calling it AI. They wasn't calling it AI because they knew everybody was going to associate it with Terminator and be like, time out. Like, what do we need to be doing with this? Now it's off the rails, and just now the government is like, we need government oversight. Well, people should have been being honest up front about the capabilities of certain tech and allowing the public to decide what we are and are not comfortable with. Yes, we're comfortable with these things now, but only because in a way it's been like forced on us. We didn't really have a choice, and we integrated all these things into our lives and then found out, like, it's people just now still finding out like your iPhone is listening to everything you say. That's why those ads pop up. I probably tell somebody different like once a month. Like the reason those, like, it would just be like an uncle, like, yeah, man, I was talking about watermelons the other day. I got watermelon aprons. Watermelon. It's like that's because you done said watermelon 55 times and your phone is listening to you. And people are like, what? Yeah, man. Well, they didn't tell me my phone was listening to me. Yeah, they're not going to tell you their phone. This is a surveillance state, brother. Like, they're not telling you where
we should have known. We should have known when the Zuck. I don't know if it's okay to say his name all live, but we should have known when the Zuck got taken to court for selling our information and not letting us know. Now it's even bigger because now you're getting facial recognition software. I mean, I remember when I first got the Xbox Connect, you know, once I realized that thing was constantly on and constantly watching me, whether I was playing games or whether I was sleeping in my own bed, that kind of worried me. You know what I mean? Just having something so powerful, a form of technology so powerful, it could watch you at all times, whether your Xbox is off, whether it's on. And then I don't want to get like paranoid or anything like, but they always say, oh, well, this company is watching you or this brand is watching you. If you got a Furby, that Furby's recording everything that you say and talk. And that was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So we've definitely advanced from that point. So our information is right there.
Well,
This right here, right there.
Well, see, now we're in the phase of they're prepping us to have sympathy for the AI, and they're prepping us to have, like, there's that movie. What's that movie with Zoe Kravitz, where she was the lady who she heard the girl get killed through the Google Play thing, and then they were like hunting her down. I think it was called like Ruby or something like that.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
So it's like, all right. And basically the whole premise of that movie is, well, if the Google Home thing wasn't listening to everything that happened, nobody would have heard this girl get killed, and nobody would have been able to
always an excuse.
Yeah. And then you got the movie coming out with David Washington, where it's like the AI child. Now he's a human protecting the AI. It's like, nah, man. Yeah, I'm not at a point in time where I'm ready to it's like all the AI. I need like droids. We need to get to droids first, like Star Wars, like
R2D2.
Just this bodiless AI that's within like permeating every tech that we have.
Wait. What is
my Zumba need to tell me the front room is clean before it tells me what the heck I've been watching all day.
And the crazy thing about that is Amazon bought Roomba, right? Everybody's like, why is Amazon buying Roomba? Because
they need to know your floor plan and your layout of the house to know what they can advertise to. Now check this out. Hold on.
And to know where everything is, so when they come in there and get you, they don't be tripping over the couches.
Wait, I'll take it a step further. So I was talking about the AR technology, right? And when Pokemon Go first came out, that was the first thing that people kind of knew about AR, because you're looking through your camera and they're putting, like, oh, let me catch that Pikachu right there. And you're sitting there playing, and but you've got your camera scanning.
You know damn well you didn't catch no Pikachu.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn well you didn't catch no Pikachu. They were hard to catch.
And what was funny is I started noticing, like, at the time I was working, I was working at a GameStop. I was working in a mall, and they had like the little towers. And somebody that plays Pokemon Go could probably speak a little bit more clearly on this, but the objective was whatever one of the three teams you were on, you wanted to control the different towers. Mm-hmm. So the mall that I worked at, pretty much everybody at the mall was all kind of on the same team, and we would control that tower. Throughout the day, if we lose it, we would always be able to get it back because there was plenty of us all in the same team. And I started looking at, like, just one day, just kind of subconsciously noticing where all of those towers were, like the popular destinations and the popular locations. If this is AR, why, like, there's a tower at this library, there's a tower at this park, there's a tower at this mall. Why aren't the towers in, like, they should be more random than that? Why are they at all of these large popular places that people are already going to public? So now you're sitting here playing Pokemon Go in these public areas, which means that your camera is scanning all of these people. So when you watch a movie, and you know what, this is a shame, well, not even a shameless plug, this is actually a low-key movie review. So I watched this movie the other day with Gal Gadot, Heart of Stone. Surprisingly good movie, all talking again about it's talking about a supercomputer, and it's basically talking about an algorithm or an AI that makes predictive assessment. And it analyzes situations, and it's like, oh yes, the heart says it's a 98% chance that this person is going here. And so when they go, imagine if James Bond's Q division was able to predict what take a Minority Report and mix it in with a little bit of James Bond, but don't give me like the weird robots in the future. And that was this movie, Heart of Stone. And the main thing was like the algorithm could predict all of this stuff. And so you have like all your secret agents, MI6, and you have, these people and those people. But then you have this other group called the Charter, who works outside of those groups, and they're the ones that really handle stuff. And it was just like watching how the predictive technology works. And anytime you see somebody in a movie where they're like, they can hack in and they can use all of the surveillance cameras in an area, or think back when what was it on Batman? The Christopher Nolan Batman, where he uses the technology,
cell phone thing.
Yeah, the cell phone thing, where it basically he can find anybody that he wants to find. He can track down, pinpoint, but it was like it's too much power. And of course, in this movie, Heart of Stone, the heart is this AI chip that can track and locate anything. And it's like, what do? They're able to track it using all the surveillance cameras and the camera that's at the ATM machine, or
I mean, it's the same thing in Fast and Furious. They have God's eye. I mean, this
Yeah.
this idea of technology where you can just tap into anything and see any and everybody everywhere. I mean, they've been prepping us for that through the media for years.
They do that on the show FBI. Every because it's 3 different shows 3 times a week.
Yeah.
They're showing you that because they have their unsubs or whatever, they're looking for people, and they use all of the like traffic cameras and security cameras, and they can look at every store's security cameras, your computer web cameras, facial recognition from airports and stuff, and they can find everybody.
I mean, if they know your license plate, they can literally find your car with a satellite and just shut it down if they really, really wanted to. Depending on how high the people are up that you pissed off.
Right.
The thing is, we're not really making it hard. We're really not making it hard, because you can get on your Snapchat. If you have a Snapchat right now,
you're sharing your location with 43 people.
Click on that, and you can see where everybody's at. You can see their exact address. You can do that on Facebook too. I found that out due to circumstances that weren't ideal for me. But you can be on Facebook and somebody could be like, listen, I know you're right here. I can see you right there.
Yeah.
Type stuff. We're already giving this information out.
Such and such checked in at blah, blah, blah. They're the mayor of this local watering hole. And everybody's cheering about it. And it's like, fam, all you doing is just telling the computer.
Meet the mic for creators. Look, we're going to look. But you know what? Sale ends tonight. Let's take a peek.
So you've been talking about it now.
Yep. And all I did was pick up Facebook, scroll. It was person, advertisement. Let's see. Free shipping, 50% off.
That ain't nothing, but I don't know if I can hold it for you if you leave and come back and somebody come in and buy it.
Oh, yeah. No, this one.
It's going to be there tomorrow.
$29.99. We back up. So they heard your comment where they was talking about, oh, he must be he talking like he broke. See, man, you messed up my algorithm. Now I got to start.
Algorithm know better than to listen to me.
Right.
Because I ain't going to tell you nothing they want to hear.
But I do think it's kind of interesting. And it's like, I've always kind of thought to myself, like, there's that weird idea that, like, I'm not doing anything that warrants me being concerned if I'm being listened to. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I mean, you think you're not, but then when they change the laws, what if they make it where it's like they don't want you to teach Black history in school? What if they like, no, don't teach it nowhere? Now you got Google Home. Like, man, he was in there talking about Marcus Garvey. They got your floor pan from the Roomba, so they're gonna sneak around the couch, go around all the Superman statues, and that's gonna be a wrap.
You know, and the funny thing is,
can I just make this? Can I just make this observation? And
what's up?
it's all fun. Jeffrey sound like Ice Cube when he talks. he sound just like O'Shea when he be talking.
Oh no,
Yeah,
he is absolutely my conscience right there.
I hear it.
Now
I'm waiting for him to ask if these kids are home yet.
I have
but that actually makes that. But like, kind of going back to what I was saying before about kind of like tech ethics, right? That's what
Florida.
Exactly. But see, like with tech ethics, that's why I always encourage people to watch a show like Star Trek, right? Because whether they follow it or not, the premise is you can't just because we can go around from planet to planet doesn't mean that we should just go into every planet and do whatever we want when we get there, right? So there's what they have like the Prime Directive. This is basically our constitution on how we engage with certain planets. If we get to a planet, they don't have warp technology developed, we have to stay hidden. We're not allowed to engage with them. Like developing warp technology on your own as a planet is like ground zero for entering into the Federation, right? And just little stuff, when they do medical things, first contact, it's like there's all these rules because there's just like in Star Wars they have the Clone Wars, there's the genetics wars of Star Trek that everybody talks about where technology ran them up. People start going in and resequencing their own DNA to make themselves. At first, it started to cure sickness, and then it turned into people trying to make themselves God. That's when you end up with like Khan, the famous Star Trek villain. Like that is why he's essentially even more so than like somebody like a Q. He is the quintessential Star Trek villain because he is the embodiment of what happens when you can do something, but it is unchecked. When it's unchecked by morals, when it's unchecked by ethics, when it's unchecked by like looking at humanity through the prism of our failures in the past and deciding to like make different choices. Whereas contrast him with like the Federation, it's like this is what happens when we decide on our planet we're all the same species, we're going to work together. So there's no racism, there's no like need for money because society has advanced beyond that. It's like all the things that could happen if we decide to use this information and work together versus what happens when we decide to take this information and try to elevate oneself over others.
Right.
So Jay, do you feel like us here? Do you feel like we've advanced on our own because the technology jump from 1990 to 2010 is so significant? You think that was just us?
I look at it like this. I look at it like this.
Gray man finally explained how to use the stuff, and that was when we suddenly like the technology arrived before that.
I'm not even gonna go that far. I'm gonna say this: if you look at American history, the times of the like quickest advancement in American history is when America decided to let Black people have a fair shake to a degree, right? Like you talking about early industrialism is really around the same time as slaves getting freed. I mean, we're talking about people like slaves being over here for hundreds and hundreds of years, and we haven't developed steam technology, and because the people who knew how to do that was picking cotton, not developing like technology. So once people get to a place where they can develop technology, then you look at being able to go to college. You're talking about like the 90s, people who growing up seeing Black professionals, seeing Black people who've gone to college. You have a different world. You have Cosby Show. You're seeing that kind of Blackness reflected in our media, which is not So it's not strange anymore. And so for me, I look at it and I say, of course, like if more black people go to MIT, you're gonna get a bunch of different type of tech than you would get if the only people who were going there are the same types of minds, the same types of people from the same types of communities. Like once you bring in diversity, once you bring in people with alternative perspectives, people who've had different experiences, they're going to be able to develop things in a different way. Now, do I think we're alone in this universe? Absolutely not. But I kind of look at it like this, and I think this is my Star Trek love coloring how I look at it. If I was in a, if I was in a, if I was, why would I stop here?
Right.
We've all driven by gas stations in the country and just be like,
yeah, we'll go
I'm gonna wait till I see a Buc-ee's. That's what this is.
I'm in Kansas. Trust me, I get it.
That's why all the ships we find have crashed. But ain't nobody came came back to get it. But you better find your own way out there. We ain't stopping on Earth.
That's crazy. Nobody came here intentionally. Every time they came to Earth,
nobody been like, "Hey, y'all seen Philip?"
That is hilarious.
Y'all seen another one of these?
Go ahead.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. When you look at alien sightings, the Roswell crash, that shit was an accident. It was not intentional. They was actually on their way to Venus and couldn't
learning how to drive.
Somebody had a little bit too much sip.
Crashed in the church park.
Mama didn't know what a break was.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, even if you go as far back, like just thinking about it, like movies like E.T. have kind of, so you have E.T., Close Encounters. When you think about a lot of these movies where it's like, on the one hand, they're showing us alien invasions, and then on the other hand, they're showing it's always like somebody's harboring an alien that just wants to go home, and it's, you know, it's a harmless little, because you take like Mac and Me, and you know, there's going to be a lot of those. There's two scenarios with aliens, right? In every case, it's like either they're coming to destroy us, or they're coming to be, and they need protection. They have to be hard. Then you fast forward a little bit, now you have District 9. And that's the first time it's like they're here, but they're over there, and we're going to leave them alone. But then you see some of them get bullied. And
that's what we do to everybody else. That's what the human race does to everybody else. Right. That's what we did to the natives. Oh, y'all here? Okay, well, y'all can be here, but y'all just got to stay over there. You know what I mean? This is your.
If you
this is the border. Y'all can't cross this border unless you got paperwork.
That is the standard playbook. District 9 is a standard playbook for American history, right? I mean, it could have been, you know. The only thing I don't remember seeing was the alien having like his number tattooed on him or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, they were obviously
very Hitler-esque.
You know,
very Hitler-esque.
So
one thing
I am of the mindset that all of the technology we have, all of the leaps and advancements in technology, because a lot of this stuff, like some stuff, it makes sense. But it's just like, end of the day, it's just like, because science, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's all you can really say to shit, because I can't, you know, I just trust that radio waves make the communicator in this thing talk to the communicator in this thing, and that this walkie-talkie, when I press this button, radio waves are going to make the sound travel over to here, because that's what science told me. That's what I learned in like elementary school science, you know what I'm saying? But then you get around to some of this other technology, and you like, well, if it can do that, like, okay, the big thing that's happening in a lot of places right now, I'm gonna sneak this in, like people getting fiber internet, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you hear on the commercials, like AT&T is offering, you know, 1, 2, and 5 gig fiber. I think it's Xfinity is talking like, you know, the first 10G fiber network and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, let me tell you something. The average person doesn't even have a device capable of supporting anything over 1 gig in their house. Okay.
Fact.
If somebody comes And yeah, see, I mean, ADHD, that is why we are here. Okay. And if I had my caffeine, the shit would be worse. But it's like you have this fiber network, regardless of what company makes it, that suddenly gives us all of this internet capability and internet capacity. And it's like we don't even do things in our home that require that kind of internet. But there's the classism side of it exists. And I just want to be able to say, well, you know, I've got I've got 2 gig fiber internet, you know. Oh, what do you have? Oh, you have 100 meg. Peasant. You
Well,
know what I'm
see,
saying?
here's one thing. Here's one statement. Here's one statement that has recently come across me, and it's stuck with me. And it's we as humans, we don't associate with ants. We don't try to talk to ants. Why? Because we're more advanced. What we do compared to what they do, you know what I mean? So if there's really these aliens out here and they are this advanced species, they haven't shown themselves to us for what? Because we're not on the level that
I mean,
they feel is needs to have conversation.
I mean, I like the movies like Annihilation and what's the one with Amy Adams where she goes and they try to make contact with the alien and
Oh yeah.
it's like the alien basically like puts in her brain the capability to understand the language they're speaking. And it's
Yeah, they were
like
talking across a glass screen basically.
yeah. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When you, I was trying to click on it real quick. I need her filmography, movies. Click. I feel like it would be one of the.
Isn't she, I swear to God, she's Superman's girl.
Yeah, that's what. Like I said, it was Amy Adams. I thought that would be it, but it's not coming up right
Lois
away.
Lane.
But in whichever movie that one was, Arrival. That's it.
Yeah.
I know it's a one-word movie.
Yeah.
So in Arrival, you know what I'm saying? It's like that is again one of those moments where it's like the whole basis is being able to communicate with this other species, not realizing that like the species is so far advanced. That's why we can't communicate with it. Not because you know what I'm saying? Like they literally had to dumb it down. Here, look, we're gonna draw you this picture. Okay. Do you understand that? Like that's the alien, like, you know what I'm saying? And by the end of it, it's like she comes to realize, like, oh, she's had this knowledge all along, but she wasn't capable of thinking that way because her mind wasn't unlocked. You know, it is.
I mean, like, even if you think about it like this, right?
Been a minute
Okay,
since I've
let's
seen
say let's say like the warp technology thing is not effective, right? For me, I would feel like base level for me to stop is you know how to communicate with each other. If you flew by Earth and just like listen to how we talk to each other, how we don't listen to each other, how we treat each other, it's like
Yeah.
there's no way somebody is going to come in who doesn't speak our language and be able to be given enough time to like try to like bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? Like on Star Trek, there are a lot of episodes where what they're doing now is they're meeting these different species that they've never like encountered before. So in Star Trek, we have this thing called a universal translator. Like everybody kind of basically has one implanted. So when you meet and it has an AI technology in it that basically like decodes and translates whatever somebody is saying to you into whatever language you understand. But sometimes they meet species where it's like there was one where they communicated through like they had to take these mathematical formulas and then chart it over some like spatial thing and it resonated in like these different tones to basically communicate to these aliens. There was the Star Trek, I want to say 4, the one where they go back in time to get the whale.
Oh
Because
yeah.
the alien species came and communicated with the whales prehistorically before humans. Humans fucked up the earth. The whales are are basically like extinct, and then when these aliens come back, like, yo, where my boys at? They start destroying Earth because the people who they were there to communicate with were not there. The lack of communication on this planet, even with all of the like accessibility we have to one another, it hasn't improved our ability to communicate with one another and understand one another. And if I'm an alien, the only way I'm landing on this bitch is a crash too.
Yeah.
If you simplify that down, it's kind of similar to the War of the Worlds. You know, with Keanu Reeves coming down, being the one trying to tell the humans, "Hey, y'all been doing this, y'all been doing that."
Yeah, basically
Trying
saying
to
like, look, if y'all don't get y'all shit together, we're gonna blow this bitch up. So I'm gonna need y'all to listen to me, do right, or else. I would definitely say
bridging the
I
gap.
think the arrogance of the human species as a whole, when it is not very normal for humans to go to the moon. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a vacation home on the moon. I don't know anybody with a vacation home on the moon. It doesn't even seem like we've perfected traveling to the moon. And of course, there's the whole
Ask
like,
Elon Musk, he'll tell you different.
but I mean, there's that whole idea of like,
We seen it blow up, dog. We saw it blow up. You can't.
right? You know what I'm saying? It's the thing in my head, of course, is always like, if we were able to make it to the moon way back then, hadn't technology improved since then? Like, I don't want to get this. I don't want to get the channel or the page shut down, so we gonna skirt this one. But like,
Hey, I used to be with you. Then they made Hidden Figures, and I said, look, if black ladies did the math, I'm gonna say it like this. At least I know the math was right.
and
Now
I'm
I
with
ain't gonna. I don't know if they actually got
Yeah,
in the
that
ship and
that
went up
wasn't
there,
the issue.
but the math was right.
right now. Taking that into consideration, given that the average human being doesn't have access to ships that can take us to the moon on a regular basis, if any creature from any planet that's not of Earth somehow crash lands on Earth, you got to respect the capabilities they got being
Fam, we
far
fighting from the
superior to you.
surface. We shooting at the sky, essentially.
You know what I'm saying? So
Like we
it's
don't
like,
got no jump ships to just warp into
but it's
action.
like the arrogance of the human race to try to look down on this alien that crashed, not realizing that, like, bro, this is a whole alien from another planet that crashed here.
You know what? You know what it's like. Humans are like, when you go to college, and it's like that one person comes like, yeah, I was a valedictorian. Like Earth is like, we the valedictorian of our solar system. We made life. And it's like, yeah, everybody valedictorian, everybody here, but like also that don't mean nothing because we had to pick y'all up because y'all don't have warp ships. So I know you was big shit in your little pond that you came from, but like this is the ocean, baby. You better. I don't think you might not swim as good out here as you was back in your little small pond.
Exactly. No, I think that is an excellent analogy right there. And like I say, it was the absolute arrogance of the human race to think in those terms and not realize that, like, if aliens crash landed here, and of course, that it was kind of interesting because when you made your point earlier about, like, did they come from outer space? We just, maybe they did, hollow earth theory and all of that kind of stuff. But it's like, I think the ships are the only part that bring into question, what's what. Like, why would they need the ships if like, where was they going? But I guess, maybe.
But if let's say it's a Namor situation where it's some ocean people or something. Not saying I'm believing this. I'm saying hypothetically.
No, and that's
they would need a ship to
that is a good
maintain the pressure
because
that they're used to surviving.
I do believe that if we're going to discover anything new and unusual and different on this planet, it's going to be not in the center of the earth, but it's going to be in the motions. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this: leave it alone.
If it ain't bothering
Orcas,
us,
the
Right,
orcas
if it
have
ain't
warned us.
yeah.
That's the level 1 boss. You don't want to meet the level. The level 2 boss is the pressure.
Yeah.
You don't want to meet level 3.
Yeah, we not
Because
we not
whatever
ready.
it is, you don't like,
level 3 is the Meg, and more like that.
Just leave it alone. Because it's always something like this thing's been here millions of years. It's the time of the dinosaurs. Yeah, because nobody was messing with it. Leave it alone.
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely made me think of the one line, and it's the big famous line from Jeff Goldblum in the Jurassic Parks. You know, you were so busy focusing on whether or not you could, you never took time to stop and think about whether or not you should.
And every tech bro seen that movie, and everybody think Jeff Goldblum is so cool and like he's the best part of that movie, and nobody listened to anything he said. Nope. You're too busy lusting after him. They should have made the character ugly.
Where, you know what, they would at least trust the science then.
Exactly. Button up one more button on the shirt, Jeff.
Exactly. You know, but you know what? It's funny because they actually did do that in Independence Day. They did.
Yep. Everybody remember that one,
right? They toned it way back, and he was nerd. And you know what? Most people, like, I remember the Coke can. He was trying to explain technology. He was trying to explain how to interfere the signal from the mothership with the Coke can. But it's like that. Those people are out there. Those people exist. There are people who are absolutely smart enough to figure out a lot of this stuff. And a lot of times I do think it's just a matter of they get so wrapped up in being able to do stuff that they just do it. And they aren't thinking about repercussions. And they're just like, oh, wow, look what I can do. And that's going to be a problem.
And it's interesting because a lot of them people have all read comic books, but it's like they have no clue. I'm sure if you like really sat down with Elon Musk right now, or honestly, any of them I'll say this. If you honestly sat down with Jeff Bezos and was like, fam, like look in the mirror right now. You looking real Lex Luthor-ish. Like that's how you coming across. Like all this obsession with your body, and shout out to one of the episodes of Harley Quinn and how they've been portraying Lex Luthor this season. Hilarious. But it's kind of very much like a Jeff Bezos thing, like the obsession with your appearance, the obsession with staying young, having all this money, running like the big company, blah. But it's like, fam, you know who Lex Luthor is. Like, I'm sure when you started Amazon, that's not who you set out to be. But that's who you are right now.
That
like
y'all you just have to accept it is what it is.
Elon Musk is a James Bond villain. Like,
yeah,
down to the accent. Like, do you not see it?
And the look. Yeah. He absolutely looks like a Bond villain. Where is my mouse? Okay,
so I just see it, and I'm just like, all these people have been allowed to amass power because they have money. And if that's just the way life is, it's like, we fucked, man. It is what it is. Just enjoy it while you're here, because it's never going to be this thing where it's like, really, it's about even in the arts industries where it should be about talent, even in these areas where you're talking about merit, it's like money can buy you into like a certain amount of merit in a lot of people's eyes. You know what I mean? Like, you a kid and you want to go to the NBA. If your mama and daddy ain't got money for trainers and stuff for you to do off time, and you in the gym every day, and it ain't I just go to school and I play basketball on the weekends and I just love the game. So what? Show me your highlight tape, 8-year-old. Because all these other 8-year-olds got highlight tapes now.
Absolutely.
Like, so it's not even about if you good. because now the industry is going to say, oh well, we don't need to just like send people out to go all these places. We'll just scout everybody online first, and then whoever we like from there, you know. And it's just like, nah, that's the same thing they do with music. It's not about, oh, I like this song. Like, I'm a radio DJ or I'm a person of influence in the music industry. I like this song. I believe in it. Even to like when we was coming up, or not when I was kind of coming up, it was more like you just get a DJ $100 at the strip club for him to like play it. But then if the strippers like it and the strippers make a good money, they gonna request it themselves. There was always like a community vetting system when it came to breaking music, and now it's just like you got to have like $400,000 to invest into a song because you got to pay all these radio stations, you got to pay all these DJs, you got to pay for a social media platform, like you got to do all this other crazy stuff when it used to just be like, if you made a song that was good enough, somebody was going to hear it. And it's the same thing with everything. It's just like, how much money can you pay to get this exposed? I mean, same thing on Instagram. Like, I used to draw certain stuff. I could get like a couple hundred likes, but I don't spend money on Instagram. So they're like, shadow ban, or we ain't like, my stuff don't get sent out to like everybody that's following me. It's like, I got 2,000 people following me, which is not a lot. I got 2,000 people following me. Of the 2,000 people saw this, 11 people liked it. No, like 2,000 people did not see this because you're too busy showing motherfuckers ads for microphones.
I'm trying to tell you, and you know what's funny? Like, and one day we'll have to like. I found out, of course, on my TikTok school. One of the people I follow, he talks about all the cool things you can do with your Android phones. Like, I do all the stuff with my Android phone that I wanted to do, and it's like pretty dope. But I found out like, oh, there's this other stuff that I can do, and it's like, I can do this, I can do that. So I found out that I can use my phone, Samsung, as a second screen, and I already know that I can like cast my phone and share screen and that sort of thing. And I can probably just plug it in and have my phone screen up. But yeah, like I noticed that. So I have two different Instagram feeds, and my first Instagram feed is just my personal page. And if I go to no, that's my Twitter. I got two Twitters. I got two Twitters. So my Instagram. So like right now, you are the third person on my Instagram. So if I go to my Instagram stories, you're the third one right there. And it would be one of those. I'd be like, okay. So if I scroll across and we'll tap there, and you know what? I saw that one already. But it's funny because I saw that on my other one. Now my other one, it does have different content because it is technically the Grown A Geeks profile. So when I pull it up, the first thing that comes up, Marcus the Visual.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after Marcus the Visual, JP&T. Then right after that, 85 South or 85 Apparel. Boom, boom, boom. And 85 Apparel, that's another good place to get some really cool stuff. 85 Apparel Company.
Yeah. And watch the 85 South Show Netflix special if you get a chance.
Yeah.
If you like improv / stand-up humor from Black people. If not,
see, and I have to go down. If I go down like 10, okay, look, there's Denisha. She's about 10 down on my reels. But like all of her posted content, that pops up right away. Now, what's funny is like when I go to my TikTok, I see everything that Teresa puts on TikTok. It comes right in there. Boom. As soon as I open up TikTok, it's like, oh, you interacted with this. So that, and they're right. I am interested. I do want to see that. And I like that when I go, because of course TikTok has like the weird algorithm. So I click on friends and the people that I interact with the most, like David, his posts are the first ones that come up almost every time. And I've probably because I've been interacting with his posts the longest on TikTok. So it knows to show me the stuff that David posts. But very quickly, look at that. 2 swipes and I was at yours. 2 swipes and I'm at She Geek. And usually what'll happen is I'll watch. You normally get my like at about 2 minutes in the video. I have to like see what this would, except T-shirt of the day. T-shirt of the day always gets an instant like, and then I sit and watch the video. But whenever you do like outfit of the day, or you do the hauls or the unbaggings, unboxings, stuff like that, those I usually like wait a moment to see like, is this going to be realistic for me to like this, or am I just, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Is this from Five Below?
Right. You know, because it's like if it's one of those things that like I'm probably not shopping at this particular store. So is it just a like that's a fake like? And so, and honestly, you will even notice that like if you go through and you look at the ones that I like and don't like, I have kind of like, okay, this I did like. And it, you know, I am mindful of that sort of thing and try to be a little bit genuine. And like I said, one of the things that I try to do with a lot of people is you know what, we will put all, I will make all of the socials available towards the end. Um for the followers, let's see, watch your post. It's a post from someone you know, 3 to 5 ads, then someone you know. Yeah. Yeah. And I have kind of seen the way they do that. And that's why I was saying, like, oh no, it's like I know that of the 11, and seeing like, because I've tried to do all that grow your page stuff, all of the live channels that it tries to show me are people who are basically like promoting, you know, join this live and grow your followers, join this live and grow your followers. Okay. So I've done a couple of those, and I'm, you know, I'm getting there. I'm on my way, and I'd be real proud of my little page. I got 489 followers on my TikTok, and you know what I'm saying? I've had 2 videos that have like done really, really, really well. And then all the other ones, they kind of fizzle around the 400 to 600 mark. But it's, you know, I
Hey,
don't
4 to 600 better than 0, man.
definitely. And you know, I noticed that it grows continuously. And oh yeah. Um, yeah, you're right. And let me, I got to say it carefully because I got to make sure they get it right this time, get my algorithm back on track. But, you know, it's like right now I look at like the setups that I have and the stuff that I use, and I'm, you know, I'm just getting started. I'm not ready to invest. Kind of like you were saying, Jeff, I'm not ready to invest that big dollar into my page. I want to let it grow naturally for a little while, because I've even seen, like, I've been in a couple of these lives where people tell you like, yo, if you send me this gift in the live, I will give you like 1,000 followers. I will give you XYZ likes and stuff like that. And I was in one live, and dude, just like, I looked up and like my video had 100,000 likes. I mean, had 100,000 views. Now that same video only has 32 likes. So it, like, the algorithm is completely screwed now. You know what I'm saying? Because it has all these, you know, bot generated views, of course. And it's just like view. But then it's just, if it's only got a handful of likes, like, it did cause the video to not really go viral, but it caused my page to be on the For You page. A lot of people saw my page. I did get some more traffic as a result. Use that, jump into some of these other like grow your page channels and whatnot, and try to get some traction right there. I'm not going to buy my followers. I'm just not going to do it, simply because I want the engagement and I want the views. And if I was going to make money off of it, I have to have real people who look at my stuff. And if I just have the bots, then the bots ain't gonna be paying nothing. I'm gonna go live
Well,
and have 4 people watching, you know.
and it's like it's
And
kind of like, you know, back in school, like the people who it's like people are only being your friend because you bring the good snacks, and it's like if you stop bringing them snacks, nobody's gonna hang out with you.
Right.
no, I'm gonna tell you the painful truth. I remember when I was in high school, I was like the first in my friend group to get a car. And guess who suddenly got invited to all of the parties? No, I take that back. I didn't get invited, but I went to all of the parties because the cool kids who got invited needed a ride. So guess who got to go to the party because I had to take them? It's very interesting, but it's cool. It's cool because I also had a car that I could go to places I wanted to go when I wanted to go later. And, you know, it all worked out in the end. All worked out in the end. But yeah, got the podcast next gen coming up here soon. Hopefully, I can get a good deal on these little tiny microphones that I can connect to my phone, and trying to get down to like the single digit price. They give me one for $9.99.
You're all over it.
I'm telling you, that's the one I'm looking for. Just because it's just about. It's not about being broke. It's about being cheap. You know what I'm saying? I know how I'm going to use it. I know how frequently it'll get used. I spent good money on this, like on this microphone, my monitor, my computers. Like the money gets spent when it needs to get spent. But like for the podcast, like hell, I would just as soon have my son sit at his computer and I sit at my computer where I've already spent the money. But for the fun of the conversation, I wanted us to like sit together. You know what? Somebody's asking if I'm going to live stream from Dragon Con. Yeah, I probably. You know what? I've done that in the past. I think like when the parade is there, I'm there at the parade, and I film and whatnot. It would really just depend on which day I go and what I'm doing. I'll definitely be there for the parade. I think last year. Wasn't last year, year before, another friend from the group was there and they live streamed it. So I just, I let them live stream it. But yeah, I'd probably hop on and live stream from Dragon Con. But then that content, like I got to get the selfie stick so that I can hold it out. I'd take a lot of pictures. I would carry like 2 battery banks and, just got to stay charged up. And if you bribe me with Lego, will I buy some dice? You know what? I still have. I still got to put this together. I still got to put my X-wing together. Once I get my X-wing put together, we could talk about getting more Lego. My buddy Dave has probably already put together all his like Harry Potters. Like he had he got one that had like the every day from like right around Christmas, it would like give him a new piece and he could like open it. It was like this big Christmas deal for Harry Potter. So he's probably done that a lot more. And I'm sure you got some dope Lego sets. Singe has a really cool geeky job, works for Lego. So that's pretty dope. Say you work for Lego. I work for a tech company. It's about as far as I'm gonna say on that because I don't want to violate any of their social media policies. But anyway, yeah, man, we'll continue trying to push this. She Geek, you want to tell people about your TikTok? Get you some new followers, or you want them to discover it naturally? Which one?
I need all the help I could get. On TikTok, I am How to Be TK, all run together, HOWTOBETK. And I talk about t-shirts and fashion and things that I like, a lot of fantasy, Marvel, just whatever comes to mind. I do lots of shopping hauls. I am that online shopaholic that we were talking about earlier. So I actually have an Instagram under How to Be TK as well, but there's nothing on it.
I mean, everything has a start. Like at one point, you know what? You were talking about the Stark Industries shirt the other day, so we'll just do a quick highlight so people can see. Let me see. Present, share screen. Let me make sure that everything. Okay, like I just have to look at my screens and make sure that everything is right. Boom. So that's her right there. How to Be TK. This is her page. This is like you see T-shirt Tuesday. She got a Falcon shirt right there. She got a Stark Industries shirt. There's a championship T-shirt. These are the different outfit of the days. A couple of hauls there. And sunflowers. We know she likes sunflowers. Let's see. You gotta pay attention to her sunflowers. And see, there's a sunflower shirt. So, but yeah. If you just happen to be on TikTok and you want to check your boy out, You can find me right there if it ever loads up. That's us, Grown A Geeks. And of course, I was looking back and it started doing this new thing that I'm kind of learning about. And it's I didn't know what it was. I just saw people had it. Not now I see what it is. But it says on this day. And it's like, oh, here's something you posted on this day a year
A
ago.
year ago, yeah.
And that sort of thing. And so it was like it actually showed one of the first fan casteds that we would just randomly. This is actually what created Fancasted. We were talking Fantastic Four on a weigh-in Wednesday, and it was Ty, Jeff, and myself, and we were discussing a Fantastic Forecast. We had Will Smith, Regina Hall, The Rock, and Kevin Hart as the Fantastic Four. Idris Elba as Doctor Doom. We had the storyline and everything worked out. And originally we were going to cast Margot Robbie, just because. Why not stir up some shit? Because we could, you know. Let's see. And because we were shouting her out earlier, she is here. Boom. Just Tig. I enjoy the hell out of her content. She is hilarious. We laugh a lot. And, you know what I'm saying? She has a lot to say. Really, really good content right there. And so this is a new page, 6-time aunt, Just Tig. Find her on TikTok as well. Let's see. Let me stop sharing this first. Like, let me go to Instagram. I'll show. Like, you know what?
Freaky man.
You know what? I cannot control what Instagram does. Okay. The algorithm, the AI. You got no control over.
The algorithm is a reflection.
You know what? See, this was one of those. This is normal. This is Doja Cat, but like, yeah, we're not just finna put that up there because I don't know what Doja's doing right here, being Doja. But let's see, where is it? Which group? Okay, this is my personal page, but here we can find JP&T. Search. Oh, there you go. And here's just some dope art and stuff like there. And there, of course, that's the man right there, JP&T, and some really good, like the reels and everything. Like a lot of it is their Star Trek Day brand identity beat. Like it's some good lessons up in here as well. And there's, you know, Clone Tyrone. This was the inspiration that came about as a result of Across the Spider-Verse. We had a whole discussion about that. He suddenly felt the motivations and whatnot. This was right after the musical special. We was talking about Grease. Or no, what was it? Pink Ladies?
Yes. R.I.P.
Yeah. Pink Ladies. And then just before that, we got some Spike Lee, because we got Do the Right Thing. We got which one is that? School Days, Radio Raheem. Got some X-Men, got some Star Wars. So I mean, like whatever you're looking for, man, I'm telling you, is there. Like, go check it out. And the website right there. So it's all out there. Everything is available. And you can find this all over the place. Like I said, it's a collection of content creators. Normally, I would highlight, you know what, Heroic Hat on everything. He's not with us tonight. Definitely, because initially we weren't going to do a show. I was going to take the night off. And Denise just said she was available. And I was like, okay, we'll do a short show. And 3 hours later, we're back to,
Right.
There's no such thing as a short show with me. You let me run my mouth and talk? Come on.
Yeah, my bedtime reminder just came up on my phone.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, we need to. Let's see. Oh, we got a question here. I'm not getting into this conversation, but what's the question? Emma Stone about to do some live action Spider with her new haircut. You know, it's definitely an interesting topic. I could see can see where that could go. Could happen. It could happen.
I hope not.
So let's see. I gotta hold it.
Yeah, this is definitely a Spider-Gwen cut. Well,
huh. Would you say fake news? It may not be fake news. Want to give a shout out to Rashad for joining us tonight. Shout out to Ty at Whiskelodian. You can find Whiskelodian, I know, on all the different podcast sites. I think he's got YouTube as well. Mark the Beat. Mark actually made a comment earlier from his channel, DJ Fat Snacks, Snack Bites and Reviews. So check him out as well. And lastly, Rashad Rains was here. He is with Comic and Anime Mania. So I will be checking that out and seeing that page. You know what? My thought is I may already be on that page. And if not, then, I'll probably be joining it anyway because that sounds like my thing. Comic and Anime, I'm there. But this has been like fun as hell. And we got to incorporate more of these free chats and just let the conversation go the way the conversation goes. Definitely like the format and the flow from earlier, so get more of that. Hopefully we can get Denisha back on a little bit more often to come hang out with you. Teresa, again, I thank you for being on with me. I love that every time I'd be like, hey, you busy? Want to jump on? She'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Boom. Like whenever she busy, she come hang out with us. So
I was so comfortable too.
So I want you all to appreciate her getting up and moving from her comfort zone. Moving for her comfort zone to come and hang out with us.
And praying over my computer and hoping it will actually come up.
See, and you did well. It likes that you want to be on this show. So
I think it does.
It does like that you're on this show. And I had a chance. Next time I'm going to try to join in on y'all's show if you'll let me. If you send me an invite, I'm going to hop on in.
Of course.
Apparently, I wasn't typing fast enough for her questions. I was trying to answer, but she would move on to the next subject. So
yeah, it takes a well. Dana was being our producer, and so it takes a minute for the questions, for her to put the questions up.
Oh, believe me, I know. I know how it works because I be running producer and show and host, and thank God I have someone like y'all who can like hold the show while I do all this other stuff.
And so, I told her too, because we have one DC stan. I mean, he is just he's a serious DC stan. I told her we have another DC expert if we need one, because most of us are mostly, if not only, Team Marvel. So
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, this is a short show for the ADHD. That's why we look up and it's been 3 hours.
Right.
Because I literally said we was cutting 15 minutes ago.
Right. You were like,
but then somebody puts out a comment like, what's the socials? Oh shit, gotta share the socials. Gotta do that. But it's funny because we are obviously like much more alert and awake for this show. Because sometimes me and Jeff be talking, we both be like, yep, like, okay, well, you know what? We tired. We gonna end this show just because it's late. But other times we have shows like this, and it's like adrenaline be flowing and we be going. But that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank everybody who had an opportunity to be a guest on the show. I want to thank everybody for coming through. I think those make for the best shows whenever we can get more engagement, more involved. When you, the audience, participate, it gives us plenty to talk about, and I like engaging with everyone. So thank you so much for that. But that's going to do it for tonight. For Jeffrey, Teresa, and me, Elder Geek Sam, we are Grown A Geeks, and we are out of here. Peace. I keep trying to